hit subscribe. Subscribe to my guy, Uncle D. Tell him Big Bass sent you.
Dennis Sterling. I'm an attorney here in Houston, Texas, an advocate for black men, largely because I am a black man. I'm a black father. I have black sons. Hey, man, I do what I do.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you all so much for joining me on this wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I want to continue a conversation that I started recently. Make sure that as you learn something, make sure that I earn something. You don't owe me anything, but I certainly do appreciate the time and energy that you all spend here with me. And I go a long way to try to make sure you all learn something. Now, as you all know, this is a different kind of political season. And those of us who study history, even in a novice form or fashion, recognize that what we're dealing with right now is something like a white lash or a backlash, if you will. You got white people who are basically throwing a tantrum, and it started after Obama got elected with the Tea Party Republicans. And then thereafter, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. But, you know, it seems to me that Black Americans are oftentimes the people who are forced to bear the brunt of the name calling and the disrespect. And so at this particular juncture, I think it's important for us to realize that, you know, some of this rhetoric is false. Some of it just flat out lies, and some of it's just made up. And of course, you have variations of that where things are simply just misconstrued purposely or otherwise. Coupled with that, you have a situation where Black men and Black women are at odds with each other for many various reasons that many social scientists will try to diagnose for years to come. But I want to try to touch on something that I've talked about on numerous occasions. But the bottom line is, family, you know, they've been lying about us. And one of the main things they've been lying about us has to do with single motherhood, welfare, even crime statistics. But I want to my whole goal here is to try to begin to take away the ammunition that we often use to throw at each other. Shout out to my man, Mr. 43TX. Shout out to Fresh Always. You guys, it's always good to see you. Shout out to the membership. I appreciate everybody for the time and energy you spend here. And I hope that you all learned something. Now, before we get started, I want to just first share with you some statistics because for years we've been throwing around this 69% number. Basically 7 out of 10 Black women are single mothers. Now, the truth is 69% of Black women may have children out of wedlock. That does not necessarily mean they stay like that. So the number is actually 69.3% of births to Black women or to unmarried women. And that birth status is not static, okay? That's not the same as saying 69% of Black women are single mothers. That's very different. What you do at birth and what you do after you have that child are two different things. So when you really look at the numbers, okay, the actual 2023 figures cited for Black mothers are single mothers are 47%, according to the Center for American Progress. Okay, now of course that's still a serious conversation, but that's a lot less than 69%. That's below 50%. And that's where we're going to start from. Now, anybody who has any issues with what I'm saying, there is a description section in this video. Follow the link and you can search for yourself. But what I want to do now is just kind of go ahead and let you all understand what we're dealing with. Okay, so I'm going to let this video play, and this is the gender war. If you can hear me clearly, type gender war in the chat room. This is the gender war in a nutshell. If you can hear me clearly, type gender war. Okay, let's go ahead and let this play.
About 87% of Black women in America are mothers compared to the 54% of Black men who report being fathers. Now, this difference right here, because a lot of you are confused because you're slow. This difference right here means that more Black women are becoming parents than Black men. Not just in number of children, but in the likelihood of parenthood overall. A lot of you are like, well, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense because a lot of Black women are having Black children. Let's break it down. Research and reality shows among Black women, a large share have multiple children by multiple different men. Too often we hear.
All right. So again, I kind of hit on this recently. So you have a situation where for many, many years, Black women had the microphone and they were able to voice their disagreements about Black men or whatever. It's not that other women don't have them, but the powers that be saw fit to give Black women the microphone, and they had carte blanche to say whatever they wanted to say about Black men. As a result of the social media era, now that there's no more gatekeepers, Black men now have an opportunity to say what they want to say. And for about the past 15, almost 20 years, Black men have been saying what they want to say. And now, I would say over the past 3 or 4 years, you have Black women who are now basically saying things about Black women because it fits a narrative. It'll get them likes and views. It's no different than you have that gentleman, I think his name is Diva. What is his name? Funky Deneva. Is that what his name is? Funky Deneva. Got on the internet and said that straight Black men are the cancer to the Black community. Okay, and basically that is just more pandering. I'm not saying that Black men are perfect. I'm not saying Black women are perfect, but to call Black men, straight Black men specifically, straight Black men are the cancer of the Black community. I would ask you all, what would the Black community be without straight Black men? Okay, and what do you propose we do about these straight Black men who are cancers? And and this is a gentleman, this is a man saying this, a Black man. And so, you have people on both sides who are taking the opportunity to get likes and views and feeding into this narrative. And I'm assuming that he's saying that Black men or straight Black men are the cancer because they feed into the misrepresentations about domestic violence and all those other things. And the truth is, we know in the Black community the DV rates are they're specifically in the Black community are about even. Okay, they're bi-directional. All right, which means Black women and Black men have as much rate of DV against each other. Okay, and that's something that you can easily verify. But my whole point is you have people who are chiming in and feeding into this narrative, and these narratives are based on lies. And so I'm going to let this lady finish, but again, she's jumping on Black women, okay? As a Black woman, all right? Somebody type cannibalism in the chat room. Let's continue listening to this lady.
Black women complaining about Black men not being fathers, Black men not showing up, Black men not being in their kids' lives. And this right here becomes the indictment of the men alone. But if fewer Black men are fathers than Black women are mothers, it's not simply a matter of Black men just not showing up. Now we have to discuss who are these Black men you guys are having kids by? Because choosing the bottom of the barrel and then getting upset because he is not an A1 father sounds like a personal problem. A lot of these men that you guys are having kids by also have like 3 to 5 to 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I've seen on social media, other baby mamas. You guys are all literally recycling the same nigga and then getting upset because he's not a decent father. Bitch, he wasn't a father to the last baby he had. So what made you think you were gonna be a father to yours? Statistical snapshot data shows that a high proportion of black women have multiple children with multiple different men. If one woman has a child by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men, the chances of these men being in these kids' life is very thin. Just like a man who has a baby, especially in the West, has a baby by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 women, the chances of him being in all these kids' life are very thin. Again, let's think about the kids here. However, when a relatively small pool of men share paternity with many women, the chances of involved fatherhood is very slim. And I hate this whole narrative in the black community that black men are horrible fathers when statistically they're not. Black men fail black families. Black women are just so victim minded and so just the biggest victims in the black community, when the data proves something completely different. More black women are becoming mothers than black men. You guys are also becoming mothers to the same exact nigga, and the type of niggas and the quality of niggas that you guys are becoming mothers by are horrible. But these are the black men who are failing the black family. You failed the black family first when you decided to lay down and give a baby to that nigga. You failed the black family when you did not require commitment before a child. You failed the black family when you...
So again, we've heard all the rhetoric, and the whole point of me bringing this up is to let you all hear the rhetoric. Okay, somebody type rhetoric in the chat room. This is the rhetoric that's going on. Now, the truth is, there's some truth to what she's saying, but then there's some obfuscation of the actual stats. For instance, if you take a snapshot of a certain group of men at a certain time period, there will be a large percentage of them that won't have children. No different than if you take a snapshot of black women at the point where they give birth, 69% of them are single at the time. But according to the 2023 study by the Center for American Progress, 40% of black women that they surveyed are single, which means that since that time period, about 60 of that 69%, only 47% are now single, which means they got married, they got in a relationship, et cetera, et cetera. So again, but let's continue listening to the rhetoric, and the main issue I want to hit is the single mother issue, because this is the one that I find to be the most hypocritical. Let's continue listening.
did not assess whether this was a quality man before you gave him a baby. I literally see you wenches on TikTok bragging about being the 6th and 7th baby mama. One girl said she the 11th baby mama, didn't know he had... How in the fuck you didn't know this man had 10 other baby mamas? And you ended up... You mean to tell me you had a baby by a nigga who was able to hide 10 other baby mamas? Y'all be getting pregnant by men y'all met yesterday. But the black man is failing black families. No, bitch, your weak ass coochie is.
The black
Family friendly.
biggest disappointments on this earth, and it don't seem to be getting any better.
Do you mean black men raised by black women? Raised by black women who've committed more abortions than all deaths combined since 1974? Raised by black women who are supposed to be the most educated group, and yet these very black boys are seniors reading on a 3rd grade level? Raised by black women whose studies prove that they're the least desired group on the planet? Raised by black women who have the highest growing prison population while the male population is dropping? Raised by...
All right, so the truth is, this is the rhetoric that's been going back and forth. It's very painful, it's very hurtful. And, what's happened is that the same people like Nick Fuentes, the people that, Charlie Kirk, the gentleman who was unalive last year, they've taken the same rhetoric and they threw it up and used it against us. So again, my whole point is, it's not really going anywhere. This is not the political season. We've had our fun. Somebody type, we've had our fun. We've had our fun. Black women had the microphone. Black men got the microphone. All the points have been proven. So, at this point, we're looking at diminishing returns. What we've already made it. We've made it so that black women made black men look bad for about 60 years. In a miraculous feat, inside of about 15 years, black men have made black women look as bad as we do, okay, to the public. So, at this particular juncture, considering the political anti-black environment that we're living in. Somebody typed black fatigue in the chat room. It would seem to me that we need to disarm. That's what it seems, hypothetically. Somebody said, let's put the mics down and build. Yeah, so, but I'm going to let the gentleman finish so we can get all of this in.
Black women who hate themselves so much they'll send overseas to get the hair of third world country women and attack the men for going over to third world countries to get the women. Do you mean those disappointing black men who on average still make more money without a degree than black women with degrees? A few simple Google searches will show who the most disappointing group in America is.
Are very immature. Studies show that men do not mature until they're 40.
She's referring to the study in the United Kingdom that says men don't mature until about 43. But that wasn't a scientific evaluation. The study relied on surveys. The study asked how the individual felt about maturity and whether they felt like the opposite sex was mature. The study concluded that men are not considered mature by the opposite sex until about 43. Not that they weren't mature until the age of 43. There's a difference. And the reasoning women gave for not seeing men as mature until about 43 is things like laughing at farting, eating fast food in the morning, and relying on their mothers too much. But most psychologists don't even subscribe to an age-based maturity because maturity is based on background, values, and biology. What is wrong with this comment, folks? Anybody that this video comes across, tell me the problem with this comment. Just, if we wanted to make apple juice and all the apple trees died, we'd be fine because all we need are apples to make apple juice. Aren't you glad of that, folks? All the apple trees can die because we only need the apples.
Shout out to Ms. T. So again, there have been some very harsh things said from both sides. I've heard discussions online where you actually have black women, and I don't know if these are foundational black American women. Somebody type FBA in the chat room. Okay, somebody type FBA in the chat room. I don't know if these are FBA women, but there are some black women or women who hold themselves out as black who are calling black men bullet bags, and you hear all sorts of things. A few months ago, there was apparently some conversation between some black women who and I don't know if they were FBA women, but they were basically saying that they wanted the white supremacist bigots to unalive black men. Okay, now again, I don't know if these are FBA women, and that might be something we have to get to the bottom of. I'm not saying that black Americans, indigenous black Americans, don't have our own issues. However, what I will say is that this gender war really start hitting some high points when we start getting black women and black men who came from countries that were who have a high rate of DV and who have a lot of anti-woman bias. Okay. If you go to places like femicide is very high in places like Jamaica. I believe that the female prime minister had to really come down on the Jamaican men and say, we're not going to do that anymore. And of course, we know that in Africa, women's rights are not respected as much as they are here. And I can understand how those women could then immigrate to first world countries, whether it be the UK or the United States, and then begin to take out their animosity on their men. Now, specifically, they just say black men, but we haven't delineated to that point. All right, so we don't necessarily know. All right, but since we are all bunched in the same group, you have a black woman screaming about how black men are doing this, and then you have FBA women or indigenous women, American Negroes. If you don't like the term FBA, we could be American Negroes today, okay? But you all know what I mean, right? You understand, right? But the bottom line is a lot of immigrants came to this country with their own issues. They intermix with black Americans, and they don't delineate when it comes to the crimes they commit. They certainly don't delineate when it comes to the shortcomings in their cultures. So we wouldn't know. Okay. Nevertheless, here's where we are. All right, this is what the gender war looks like. I'm going to let this gentleman finish speaking. And you all have heard women say a lot of things, men say a lot of things. Again, I'm going to bring up the fact that there was a gentleman on the internet, we'll call him a rainbow-oriented gentleman, who said that black men, straight black men, are the cancer of the black community. All right, so we've heard a lot. So let's continue listening to this gentleman speak. So it's coming from both sides, men and women on both sides, against each other.
Jesus.
Okay.
Fathers in the house, and there's no fathers in the house, and all these dudes is robbing and killing and selling drugs. Where is this problem coming from? It's coming from you, sisters. You know what I mean? Then they got to understand too, it's a big thing that's going on. It's a white woman just got incarcerated, her and her husband, because their kid killed 4 people. Because he killed 4 people, they're charging the parent with the murder. Now, imagine what's going to happen in the black community when it finally resonates. Now, this is president. The president has said there's going to be a lot of unsubmissive black women who refuse to have a black man who can control the household, in that household, that's going to be
Now,
getting.
I want you to be mindful of the fact that this gentleman is a pimp, or at least he holds himself out as a pimp. So I don't know what moral authority he would have to tell the rest of us how to raise our children. I'm just pointing that out. But, you know, in the black community, we are all considered equal. I've yet to hear pimps from the white community or the Asian community or the Latino community be allowed a forum wherein they can espouse these ideas. Okay, I'm not saying the gentleman is wrong. I'm sure he has fans. I'm simply saying he may not be in the moral position. He does not have the moral authority to speak to us about what the ails of the black community. That's all I'm saying. You know, but we'll let him continue speaking.
Incarcerated because your child just shot up the block. And they're going to say, you should have knew better. It's like, well, I don't know better. Well, we just locked the white woman up. You don't think we're going to lock your black butt up? So, you know what I mean? Black women and black men got to understand, man, that, you know, the reason why we have so many killings is because the lack of a submissive woman, the lack of a man in the household. Bro, newsflash. The statistics is so high in terms of a single parenting family, right? Okay, if that's the truth, and we got all this killing, we got all this dope dealing, all these young criminals, who raising them? The females. I ain't raised. Well, I raised mine, but my homie said he ain't raising his. She don't even pick up his phone call.
You know, 80% of the
All right. So again, you know, we hear the rhetoric. He's hearing the old, you know, it's the single mothers. They're the issue. Is the reason that the you know, we have a high murder rate. The reason that we have drug abuse and teen pregnancy. All the issues, right? Everything is the fault of the single mothers, right? That's what they say. And so if you listen to this long enough, it's like, man, these single mothers, Black America has a problem. They must be the only group of women in the world with single mother issues, right? That's what you would assume, right? Because we don't talk about the white women and their single mother issues. We don't talk about the Latinos, only black women. But I can point out to you guys that there's plenty of white women and who raised some horrible children. As he just simply pointed out, the irony, it was the white single mom who was held responsible for her son committing an act of pew-pewing. But it automatically, you know, reflexively, we relate that back to black women and single motherhood. Again, I share with you from the onset the actual single mother stat is 47% of black women, according to this survey by the Center for American Progress. It's 47% of black women who are single mothers. That's less than half. Okay, you can be mad at me if you want to. The link is in the chat room. You can look it up, beat it up. So that seems to be a bit of a lie to me. Yeah, 69% might have given birth. At the time they gave birth, they were unmarried. But at some point, it went, you know, it reduced down to 47%. But we don't talk about that because that doesn't fit the narrative. Okay, but again, we're feeding into it. We're in a politically, racially charged season. Okay, and it's not helping. Somebody type "not helping" in the chat room. Somebody type "not helping" in the chat room. It's not helping the black fatigue. Let's keep listening.
Males are single parent household.
Mm-hmm.
That's 80%.
Because the father's not at home.
Exactly.
You know,
3 reasons black women are the most single women in the U.S. You see, this isn't about desirability, and it isn't about value, and it definitely isn't about failure. It's about history, structure, and imbalance, not worth. Now, 1, there's a documented marriage gap according to the U.S. Census and CDC data. About 30 to 33% of black women are married, compared to roughly 55% of white women and 60% of Asian women.
All right, so I'm going to stop him right there. Okay, there's a reason why. There's some historical reasons why black women are married less. Okay, we've talked about that. And then the other thing is, you know, there's also some reasons that we don't talk about. Now, generally speaking, less people are getting married. And I know you all don't believe me. Okay, and because you don't believe me, I got a less pigmented fella who's going to say the same thing. Sometimes somebody, and it's not that we're not getting married, but the marriage era is over.
Here is the top
Okay?
5
Listen to him.
eras that are over in the United States. This is part 1. Top 5 right here, eras that are officially over. The marriage era, it's over. All-time low and everything, which it should be. That marriage era is over. It's decayed. It's out of line, really. All right, number 2 is the relationship era. Men and women are just cracking each other for money now. So the relationship era is over. Men and women should be living in separate households. 3, the no effort era is here by the men. The men are tired of putting in effort. That the old days of begging and simping and oh my God, please, please, please. That effort era is over. Number 4, no approaches. The no approach era. Women hate being approached, so now we don't do approaches anymore. So it's the no approach era. Okay, no cold approach. It's archaic. Get it out of here. Number 5, the dating app era is officially over. Everyone's getting off of the dating apps. Everyone's just paying for ass. Okay, that's part 1. I got part 2 coming soon.
Okay, so you heard that guy. You don't have to listen to me. Okay, you heard what he had to say. He's basically saying, so if he's saying it, right? If Zaddy, somebody type Zaddy in the chat room, if Zaddy says it, you don't have to just rely on old Negro Uncle D. Okay, so it's not just issues in the black community about marriage. It's happening everywhere. And so a lot of those marriages that they're counting right now are old people, older generation X, baby boomers who've been married for years and who stayed married. Okay, so as far as new marriages, somebody type new marriage. The new marriages are down for everybody, but they would have you believe, right? It's just black people. But I'm gonna let the brother finish speaking, and then the next thing he's gonna deal with, he's gonna be talking about the incarceration rate. Okay, now the truth is, 2006 was the highest level of incarceration for black men. It's about 1 million. About 1 million black men in federal and state penitentiary. That was 2006. As it is today, somebody type today, okay? 20 years later, okay? Because you can't quote early 2000s and 1990 statistics today, all right? We don't quote stats from the 1960s, and we're not going to quote stats from the 1990s and the early 2000s. In 2006, the incarceration rate for black men was about 1 million, okay? About 1 million. Now it's about 600,000. They literally have an aging prison population because black men aren't going to jail like they used to, okay? We're not going, doing other stuff, okay? They are doing other stuff, but jail is not one of the things they're doing. But I'm gonna let this brother finish speaking. But my whole point is to blame incarceration for a lack of black women to be able to find husbands, there's a deficit in that logic, okay? Because if there's 1 million black men in prison, but then you have another 22 million black men available, it sounds to me like that's just an excuse. That's what it sounds like. Just an excuse to talk bad about black men. All right. Same thing happens and this is the ammo. This is what we've been using on each other for years. But and all of this was thrown in the arena by the people who don't like us at all. They don't like black men. They don't like black women. And they throw these tools in the arena and we use them as weapons against each other. But I'm going to let the brother finish.
That gap isn't random. It reflects access, economics, and demographics, not desire for partnership. Being single doesn't mean unwanted. It often means options are limited. And 2, mass incarceration and mortality reduce available partners. Black men are incarcerated at 5 to 6 times the rate of white men. Additional black men face higher rates of premature death due to violence, health disparities, and limited health care access.
The number one killer of black men in America, okay, is not lead, okay? The number one killer of black men in America is salt. Somebody type salt in the chat room. Salt is the number one killer of black men in America. So come on now, somebody type salt. And you know what the number 2 killer of black men in America is? Huh? What's the number 2 killer of black men in America? Huh? I'll give you a guess. Come on, somebody type salt in the chat room. Let's see salt, because I want to make sure you all are lit. This is interactive broadcasting. Salt. And what's the number 2 killer of black men in America? It's right on the tip of your tongue. Sugar. That's right. Somebody got it right. Salt and sugar are the number 1 and number 2 killers of black men in America. Okay, let's just establish that. Salt and sugar. Okay, at a certain age, past 35, it's salt and sugar. Okay, that's where we are. And, you know, somebody's going to say stress. Yeah, well, that comes with the territory, but the salt and the sugar is where it's at. If you want to prolong your life, cut back on the salt and the sugar and get your jelly jar. I'm going to get some Uncle D's jelly jars for all you high calorie men out there. And as I sip, you sip. Look at that. Delicious. Delicious. All right, let's go ahead and let this fella finish. Somebody, yeah, we can keep that thing going. Salt and sugar. And ladies, if you have a husky man, I want you to let him see this broadcast. This is for him. From one husky man to others. It's salt and sugar, fellas. Salt and sugar. And there's some skinny fellas out there. Just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're in shape. Salt and sugar. Okay? Salt, you out there eating jelly donuts and working at FedEx thinking you're working it off. No, salt and sugar. Let's go back to the brother speaking.
That creates a numerical imbalance. Fewer eligible partners in the same age and community range. This isn't a dating issue. It is a societal one. 3, black women are among the most educated and self-sufficient groups over the last decade. Black women have become one of the fastest growing groups in higher education.
Yeah.
Education.
And black women have always traditionally had higher education, more so than black men. Let me tell you a story that most of you young folks don't know. Oftentimes what would happen down south, have y'all ever heard of honky, the term honky? There's a rumor that started in Georgia because white man would pull up on your house and honk his horn, and your mother or sister, whoever, had to come on out there and get in the car. It was going to be problems. See? So he basically could have his way with your woman. Okay. Now we talking about the rural South. We talking about nowhere to go. Black men did not have any rights that white men had to abide by. This was after slavery ended. Okay. So that's my understanding where that came from. And the other thing is, black folks just wanted to be left alone, but white people wouldn't leave us alone. Now, the stories I hear tell me listen to my relatives, Mississippi and other places. This whole civil rights movement and wanting equal rights was because white men wouldn't leave black women alone. They always want to be driving down the street or riding up the street. They'll bunch of white boys will surround a black woman and take her off in the woods or take her off somewhere and have their way with it. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, black men got tired of that. A lot of the issues that arose is because these white men could no longer have their way with black women, and black men wasn't standing for it. So that was actually the impetus for the impetus for the civil rights movement. But it was also a reason why black men, black fathers would send their daughters away to get educated. You see, they would go off to teaching school so they can get out the South. They would send them back east, send them to the Midwest so they can get away from those white men and their grubby hands. So and they would keep the sons in the field. That's why if you have an elderly grandparent or elderly uncle, he'll tell you, yeah, I got all the way to the 3rd grade. And that's about it. Then you are out in the fields. If my grandmother, born in 1950, she was proud of the fact that she made it all the way to the 8th grade. The 8th grade was pretty much the highest education that we got, okay? Because going to high school was a whole nother endeavor. You had to go on back to the field. So if you got to the 8th grade, you know, that was pretty top of the line education, okay, during that time period. But the whole point was to get black women educated so they can get them out of the grasp and away from these kinky white men who wanted to do bad things to them, okay? I.e., you know, have their way with their body. So y'all just be mindful of that, all right? So when we hear things like, oh, black women are more educated than black men, that's always been the case. You do have black men who have education, and I salute those brothers, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I like the fact that black women have education, which means, guess what? They don't have to necessarily depend on a man, and they don't necessarily have to depend on the white man or any man, but it makes sure they're safer. Because the quickest way to spark up some animosity amongst the races is to go take advantage of their women, whether she's your woman or not. You don't want your women who look like your daughters and your mother and your sisters to be taken advantage of by some other group. I think any man would say that, and not especially when it comes to something sexual in nature, you know, specifically SA, okay? But let's let the brother finish speaking, okay?
And independence are strengths, but they can also narrow the dating pool when cultural expectations, ego, or economic gaps come into play. Strong women don't repel men, but insecure systems often don't know how to support them. Listen, being single doesn't mean something is wrong with black women. It means they are navigating a landscape shaped by history, inequality, and imbalance while still rising. Black women aren't too much. They're often carrying more with less structural support. And the truth is, this singleness is not a reflection of worth. It's a reflection of context. When systems change, opportunities change. But the value was never in question. And that's real.
We appreciate what the brother says. Some of you ladies know, and you ladies who are in the broadcast right now, you know that was a bit of pandering, a little bit of pandering. He put a bunch of sugar and sweet frosting on top of some of y'all know y'all full of poop, right? Just like black men know that we full of poop too. All right, it's just a human thing. It's not a man thing or a woman thing. But the bottom line is, you got people on both sides who are trying to, you know, get likes and shares, but as a result, this ammo that we're throwing out at each other is not helping either side. Okay, at the end of the day, we are still black, and we are still together. And we are still one foundational Black American people with our ethnogenesis in this country. And it does not serve us a purpose to continue warring with each other And so what we have to begin to do is try to de-escalate. Somebody type de-escalate. Okay? Okay, like we want the police to do. We want the police officers to de-escalate and don't hit us upside the head with the butt of their guns and rifles and hit us with that taser. It's time to de-escalate because it's not helping at this point. There was a time, this is not 4 years ago. This is not even 10 years ago. Okay, hell, this is not even 3 years ago. We are in a different time right now. And it's time for us to be more strategic. Now, again, we've said everything we need to say. I think we won. Somebody type winning in the chat room. We won. We have definitely, fellas, if I'm just talking to the fellas right now, fellas, we've definitely made black women look as bad as we do, haven't we, over the past 15. They made us look bad. We were deadbeat daddy, wouldn't pay the rent. We were cheaters, beaters, okay? And we were all that, all right? And we made them look as bad as we do in the eyes of the world. And so we're all winning now, right? Somebody type winning in the chat room. We won. We won it. Both sides won the gender war magnificently. The game is over. The whole world sees our foundational Black American group as hot trash, right? That's what we at. Okay. So we won. We did that. Somebody type we did that in the chat room. We did that. But now at this point, in order to throw some cool water on this flame, I'm going to take the opportunity to try to throw, this is what I do. I'm gonna mess up your fight for you. I'm like you see two pit bulls fighting in the alley, just put some cold water on them, break the fight up. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at. And it's important. Okay, it's important. Now, and this is why it's important, okay? Because there have been some lies spread, and I want to share this. One of the main things is welfare. They would swear up and down that there's black women who consume all the welfare. Black people in general, but black women specifically, okay? Now, here's the thing. Did you all know that welfare was not even intended for black people? Did you all know that? Do you know we didn't even really start getting on welfare until like the 1960s and 70s? Did you all know that there are more white people on welfare than black people? But when I say welfare queen, what do you envision? Huh? When I say welfare queen, what do you envision? Huh? Do you see a white woman, living in a townhouse somewhere in New York City, right? With a Mercedes-Benz parked outside? A lot of them are on welfare. A lot of those homes are Section 8 homes in those expensive parts. Somebody type rent control, okay? Now you see, when I say welfare queen, you see a black woman with a bunch of black children. In old days, my grandma used to call them pickaninnies. Little black kids. That's down in Jamaica, I think they call them picnics, which is a variation on pickaninnies. Okay, but that's what you see. Probably a black woman with a do-rag on her head, right, with a big wide booty. Somebody type wide booty. This is what you see. Hand on the hip. This is the vision that you have. But the truth is, that's just false. Okay. And that whole imagery didn't come around until Ronald Reagan got in office. Him and the Republicans at the time, they wanted to villainize welfare. Okay. Matter of fact, there was a deal struck with I think it's the New Deal. The Southern Democrats made the president promise that there would be no welfare given to agricultural workers. Who was doing the agricultural work back in the 1930s and 40s? Black people. Isn't that something? So yeah, we can give our welfare, but we want to make sure black people don't get it. Do you know why your college tuition is so high now? College used to be free. You know why it's so high now? And where are my white people at? Whites. All the whites, I want you to come in here. You are suffering now because of your racism. You are suffering because you don't want to give benefits to black people. The same black people that fought in all the wars. I'm talking about the foundational black Americans. You are suffering now because you didn't want black people to reap any benefits from our long-standing history in this country. So at the point where we got kind of free and start entering into college, you all raise the tuition. And so that's why college is not free. As long as it was just for whites only, you were cool with that. College was cheap. But then you start raising the tuition. Came up with the SAT to keep us out. And then healthcare. You know why we don't have universal healthcare? Because white folk didn't want black people to get it. Yeah, isn't that crazy? And now you don't have healthcare. You know why they're cutting down? The Republicans figured all we got to do is put a black face on welfare, and then white people will automatically rebel against it, even though more white people on welfare than black people. So they manipulate poor white people to get the political momentum, and all they got to do is just say, yeah, the black people are on it, and then we don't want anybody to have it. So you would cut off your nose to spite your face. But I know you don't want to listen to me. I know y'all don't have anything, I don't, this old Negro Uncle D. So I'm gonna let the white woman tell you. Somebody type white woman tell them in the chat room. Let her tell.
I posted about white folks on food stamps, and one thing I kept seeing was that welfare was created for white people. I knew that it was created during the New Deal, so I did some more research because I didn't really know the whole story, and I thank you guys for responding and helping me learn stuff. So during the Great Depression is when we saw the beginning of things like Social Security, unemployment insurance. But here's the kicker. When Franklin Roosevelt built those programs, he had to make deals with Southern Democrats in Congress, the same folks who were big fans of Jim Crow, to get the support of these racist white Southern politicians. The programs were designed to exclude farm workers, domestic workers, jobs held overwhelmingly by Black, Latino, and Indigenous people. So right from the start, Black and brown families were pushed out of benefits so that white people could get them. Then we move forward to the 1960s, and there's this war on poverty. It finally opened up welfare programs more broadly, and that's when food stamps became permanent. Well, permanent, we don't know what Trump's going to do to them, but they lasted a long time. And guess what? The minute more Black and brown families started accessing this help, the politics shifted. Welfare got a new image and a new target. By the 1980s and 90s, with Ronald Reagan and his gang, they pushed the welfare queen myth. That's a racist dog whistle meant to turn public opinion against safety nets by blaming Black women for poverty that white policies created. That's the truth, you guys. So yes, welfare was built for white people, and when others finally got in the door, they tried to burn the house down. If you want.
So
I posted about white folks on food stamps, and one thing I kept seeing was
okay, so we're back. So I didn't say it. I didn't tell you. White woman told. Okay, so don't blame Uncle D. Okay, I'm not out here simping. Somebody type simping in the chat room. I'm not out here simping. I'm just, throwing some water on this bonfire. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So again, okay, we recognize that some of these prison statistics related to Black men were false. We also see that this whole single mother thing is pretty much bloated. Because if the reports from 2023, and let me read this again, and the link is in the description section. If the Center for American Progress says that the actual 2023 figure cited for Black mothers who are single mothers is 47%, right? Then where do we get this number to 69%? Well, there's a difference between 69% of births to Black women who are unmarried and 47% at the point where they measured. That means she might have gave birth and she wasn't married, but at some point thereafter she got married, or she married somebody else, somebody type stepdaddy in the chat room. Somebody type stepdaddy. So somebody came through and wiped up that single mother. Okay. And they like it. As long as they like it, I like it. There's nothing new. Okay. There's plenty of stepmothers in the Bible. Somebody type Mary in the chat room. Mother Mary was a stepmother. You know that? Joseph was a stepdad. Okay. So again, it's not unheard of. There's a lot of white men out there. You don't know these white women get married. They're 17, have a baby or two, then marry another guy when they get about 26. Yeah, nothing new. Okay. Now here's the thing that I find mighty interesting. Let's just talk about single mothers for a minute, since we own that. And make sure if you learn something, I should earn something. Okay. And again, I appreciate everybody being here, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. All right. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to be productive, and we are trying to end this infighting, because it's not serving us any, it's not doing us any favors. Okay, it's black people. Somebody type black fatigue. They are literally trying to get rid of us. They're doing their very best to roll back all the rights and everything. They're doing their best to undermine us. Here we are, the richest group of black people on the planet, and we are fighting. What are we fighting about? We're too rich to fight. Why are we fighting? We're too rich to fight. What are you fighting for? You're rich. You're the richest group of black people on the planet. Most talented group of black people on the planet. Best looking group of black people on the planet, especially me. Yeah. Okay, so what are we fighting for? You're just making up reasons to fight. And one of the main reasons that we fight is about this single mother. We swear up and down, black women are the only single mothers in the whole world. Somebody type whole world in the chat room. Somebody type whole world in the chat room. Okay? We are, you swear up and down. That there's no other group of people on the planet who are single mothers, don't we? Come on now, tell the truth. Hear him tell it. And it's because of all the problems in the black community are a result of these single mothers. Now, let me challenge you all. What if I can show you that the rest of the world has more single mothers than black people? I'm not just talking about third world countries, you know, where they poll. Somebody type poll in the chat room. I'm talking about first world countries. Name all the first world countries. I can only think of about 3. The United States, the UK, well, other than the United States, the UK, Japan, and Australia. That's pretty much, when I think of third world, that's it. So what if I tell you that this is not just a problem faced by black people in America? What if you were to learn today, somebody type today, what if you were to learn today that single motherhood, okay, as bad as we claim it to be, is pretty darn universal? Huh? What have you learned that? Would that help you then change your perspective on foundational black American women and our single mother issue, somebody type issue? Would that help you? Because see, it seems to me like, you know, when we think of single mother, there's some black woman in America with 4 kids walking behind her at Walmart, okay? And all of them look like cousins, okay? Because they got different baby dads. That's the image. Somebody type welfare queen. All right. So again, me being me, I have these video receipts, and I want you to sit back and just look at this for about 30 minutes. And I want you to, when you hear these statistics, you're gonna hear them for yourself. I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay. I don't want to do that. I want you to enjoy the ride. Okay. I don't want you to tell you, I'll talk. Y'all know I'll talk. I'll be talking. I will talk. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Let's go ahead and commence the listening to the single mother eulogy. Okay. And hopefully when you finish with this video, everybody watching this broadcast will have enough ammunition so that the next time somebody says, oh, you know, black single mothers in America are the reason why we have all these issues, your first question should be, well, how many of those women are foundational black American women or the American Negro, indigenous, Solon people? That's the first question. And why is single motherhood even new in the black community when it's been going on since slavery and beyond? Because they kept taking the men away. Number three, did you know that the single mother rate in Colombia is this, and Brazil is that, and Japan is this? Did you know that? Wait, get your pens and papers. Let's go for a ride. Y'all make sure you hit
My
the
life
number one
as a
button.
single mother is not easy. No matter how hard I work sometimes, it feels like I don't have enough to feed all of my kids. This is not the life I wanted. I needed help. I needed God. Giving up, abandoning my children, or giving them away was never an option. I'm proud I didn't give up. Once my two youngest children were registered in the Compassion program, things began to look up and change for the better. I'm so grateful to God, the pastor, the people from the church, the Compassion Center, and my children's sponsors. I have faith and hope. God is good. Thank you.
Nigerian single mother based in Germany with 7 kids says the reason she has 7 kids with different men is that these men would come in her life and pretend and have kids with her, and in the end of the day, they would go away and abandon her. And she said she doesn't know why all these things are happening to her.
I just want y'all to know, none of this is in America. I don't know if y'all can see me down here at the bottom of the screen, okay? But that's not America. Right there, that's in Germany over there. That's in Germany. That's not us. Somebody type, that's not us. I'm gonna let y'all get back to watching.
That some of the men are based in France, Belgium, Bangladesh, Italy, and so vital. Please, let's watch the video and hear from the horse's mouth as she says it with her own mouth. Thank you very much. Let's watch the video, please.
My sister, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my sister. Muna, come on, go take.
You don't want to go at that train?
Yeah. We want to go take train. Want to take a trip for
okay. Now the same thing me want your sister. Because I said they work every morning. They see you only want just a part of the children. They go, they work every morning. Now they be your children.
They be my children.
Now, some of them kids look like they for some white men, because them some light-skinned kids. I'm just saying, I'm not judging. Can y'all see me down here at the bottom of the screen? I just want to make sure. Some of them kids don't look like they belong to the African family. I'm just going to point that out. But I'm going to let y'all get back to it again. We are not in America, okay? And we just getting started. I'm going to let them finish. Go ahead, baby. Keep telling us.
They be my children.
You know what you about those children? Where's your papa now?
No, their papa don't want they France, want they Italy.
Hey!
Want they Belgium.
My sister, you try. All you want.
We give thanks to God.
Hey, but twist this, so they all fine.
No twist, oh. No twist. No twist. This one senior, this one. This one senior, that one. This one senior, this one. That's why I say for
this, now this time me for ball of them.
No, 1 year to the senior.
Yeah, you try. If not me, I know fit so with poor papa. You try.
The man go come, they go wrong. They go come, they go wrong. What you want?
I don't know wrong before. Only one yoga.
Please, we've heard from her mouth. Please, my beloved African sisters, I can understand that sometimes it's not your fault. Maybe because as you are in search of love, you become victimized by these men. You see, one thing again, please take note of this. Giving a man 20 kids or buying him skyscrapers, doing what Napoleon left undone in order to make him love you or stay with you forever, it's a lie. You see, it is you women that can love a man for material things or through acquaintance. With men, it doesn't work like that. Women are explorers by nature, while men are adventurers. Women, please stop getting pregnant from men in order to hold them for yourselves.
Now, this brother probably got 3 baby mamas himself, but I'm going to let him finish talking.
Love is important, yes, but not enough for you to get pregnant from a man. Compatibility, understanding, trust, and sincerity are very important factors and criteria that you women overlook often and ignore. Please, African sisters, wise up. Because in the end of the day, most of these men don't care. Some will capitalize on your weakness and have it, as an excuse to forsake you. You should first of all become a mother first before becoming a wife. Because your wife material can wear out over time. But
that man said you should become a mother before you become a wife. You hear that? That's the advice this man is giving out. He said you should become a mother before a wife. Golly. All right, let's keep listening.
Your mother material can never wear out because you need it forever because of your kids. That's why when you are being abandoned by some of these men, you become very frustrated. You can divorce your husband, but you can never disown your kids because blood is thicker than water. You can break the marriage vow or ring, but you can never break the blood covenant or bond between you and your kids. I don't know how true this woman's story is. If it's just a content, but even at that, there are cases like this that do exist. Please, women, be mindful that ignorance is not an excuse. For want is for harm. Thank you very much. Goodbye for now.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for that advice.
A better life. Why a lot of
now, this woman is in the Philippines. I want y'all to hear specifically what she says. She's basically going to tell you that Filipino women are, with children, are literally looking for a foreign man around Manila. Now, Manila, I believe, is the major city in the Philippines. And so they're looking for stepdaddies. They're looking for passport bros to play stepdaddy. And of course, not all the men call them. So they're just men who are traveling looking for women. But what I'm trying to point out to you all is there are enough single mothers in the Philippines that they are now looking for foreign men to be stepdaddies. So again, I don't necessarily I don't speak Filipino, I don't speak their language, but if they have terminologies this intricate, i.e. a foreign man around Manila, that means that language, well, language is the keys to a culture. And if the language develops something like that word AFAM, which is really an acronym, that tells you how intricately woven into the culture that this particular occurrence is, okay? Somebody says it's called Tagalog. Okay, I'm gonna call it Filipino because that's a little too complicated for me. But listen to what she says, and somebody type stepdaddy in the chat room, okay?
Filipina single mom trying to date an AFAM, and why suddenly everybody wants to have an opinion about it? Yeah, there's a lot of Filipina that wants to date an AFAM, especially the single moms, because there's so many reasons. I mean, they're tired of dating someone who's a deadbeat. They want someone who's actually willing to have a family with them.
They don't want to date those Filipino men who got them pregnant, i.e. deadbeat. Did you hear what she said? I thought Black American men were the only deadbeat men ever. That's what I thought. I thought we were the apex when it came to deadbeat. Apparently, Filipino men who are leaving these women, getting them pregnant, leave. Apparently, there's plenty of deadbeats over there. Okay, so let's just think about that. Let's think about that the next time you fix your lips to call all Black men this or all Black men that, or say that Black women are searching for stepdaddies to take care of their kids. These Filipino women are doing the same thing. And I know absolutely certain it's a lot of passport bros in the Philippines right now. I see y'all. I'm looking at y'all right now. I see you right there in the Philippines right now. I'm looking at you. I know you're there. I'm looking at you right now. You got that gal with you. I'm talking to you right now. talking to you. You in the Philippines right now, and that girl got a baby. And you over there playing stepdaddy right now. You got some money for her and everything. Okay? So again, this is not a new occurrence. Baby daddyism and baby mamaism, my words, patented. Okay? Copyright 2026. Just kidding. This is not something that's just germane to the Black community here in the United States. Clearly, it is pervasive. Let's keep listening.
Not just give them a baby. I mean, I'm not saying that all foreign guys are dad figures. If you're tired of your own country, of finding a man for you and seeing these ladies in social media that had a better life because they married in a farm, of course you also want, like, I want to try it. I see a Filipina that has 3 kids and got married with this guy, and he accepted everything and provide her and her kids very well. I mean, I can also hope.
Yeah, stability is important.
Exactly. I mean, he treated her good. I mean, why not? It's helping. And also, not all Filipina that are looking for a farm are only looking for the wallet. Most Filipina are very hardworking. Okay?
Really
a lot of single moms are very hardworking. They just want to find a guy that will treat her right. Why a lot of Filipina single moms?
What's the hardest thing to be a single mom?
You hear all that? She just want to find a guy that can treat her right. Why don't you go back with a baby daddy? Isn't that what we tell Black people? Go back with your baby daddy. Right? I'm just saying. It seemed to me we got a lot of smoke for each other. Okay, but at this particular time, it seems that the rest of the world is dealing with the same issues, but we come down so hard on each other that we fail to recognize that this is just something that happens all the time everywhere. Let's keep listening. Let's keep on listening.
In Japan,
I used to feel like I completely failed.
This is Japan. This is a Japanese single mother in Japan. Somebody type first world country. All right. This is where everybody said, oh, Japan's so much better than us. They got a single mother right there. Apparently it's a single mother issue. But we don't hear anything about Japan. Okay. But let's keep listening.
The reason was my grandma told me, if you decided to be with him, then you cannot come back here. You just be with him till your life ends. I tried my best, but sometimes, the relationship, so it didn't work well. Especially older generation, they keep their marriage for 50 years or more or something like that, but I only could keep 80 years and done, so I feel like why I couldn't do that. A lot of people still doing that, so that's how I feel.
Okay, that's how you feel. Thanks, baby. Now the other thing
I'm a single.
I would just want to point out something. Like, it's easy to fight with the opposite sex. It's easy for Black men to fight with Black women. It's easy for Black women to fight with Black men. See, I'm good at fighting. So I fight with everybody. You see, I literally fought the internet for about 2.5 or 3 weeks to try to protect the legacy of Kevin Samuels when they were trying to say all those disparaging things about him. And so I don't necessarily have a problem with fighting, you see? And so whether I'm fighting people from different cultures, whether we're talking about Africans, whether we're talking about Latinos, whether we're talking about Asians, whatever, anti-Black racism, where I'm telling you about how white folks are and fighting with them against the erroneous stereotypes they try to lay on us. I'm good at it, okay? But people who aren't good at fighting, people who just want to take pot shots and don't want to do the analysis necessary to figure out who their opponent is and how to best deal with them and how to best come up with a counter narrative and lace that narrative with facts, they just fight each other. So it's lazy. But you have literally hundreds, probably thousands of people on the internet, on YouTube, who will become very successful, just feeding into the animosity. Now, I've told people since I first got here, I don't do relationship advice. Now, the only thing I will say is that, you know, when people talk about black men, it makes my life harder. You see, because they don't distinguish between me, a highly educated father, lawyer, business owner, homeowner, married man, between a Pookie and a Ray Ray. You see? So because I'm a black man, I fit the stereotype. Because my son's a black man, they fit the stereotype. And what are the stereotypes? Violent, deadbeat daddies, you know, irresponsible, emotional, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? And so in a situation like that, I have to stand up and say something as a father. Okay? But here's the thing. At this point, we have diminishing returns. Don't look, at this point, they want to get rid of us. At this point, they're trying to strip us of our wealth. At this point, they're trying to undermine our status in society. And so it makes no sense for us to keep directing our firepower at each other. We need to direct this outward. We can get back to fighting with each other in about 30 or 40 years. Okay, I promise y'all, it'd be plenty more time for Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, to fight it out. Right now is not a good time. Okay, right now, okay, when we come out this locker room, okay, we need to get back on the field, okay, and we need to figure out how we're going to deal with these people who are trying to take us out. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you feel me? I'm just pointing this out to y'all. Right now, we're in the locker room. Somebody type, we're resting in the chat room. We're in the locker room right now. All right, we need to figure out how we're going to survive this next century with the influx of people coming from South America and Central America with their own anti-Black racism. We're going to have to figure out how we're going to keep these Africans and whatnot from switching souls. They want to switch souls with us. They want our destiny. They want a destiny swap with us and take over. Say, yes, he's Black. Everything that this is all African. You see what I mean? I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so if you want to be here, okay, if you want to be here, family, if you want to be here, then it's time for us to put down our weaponry, okay, and come together as a group, like our culture tells us that we should, okay, and begin to deal with the external threats instead of fight with each other. We've said enough, in my humble opinion. Now, if y'all want to keep on fighting each other, I mean, it's the opportunity. And I mean, it didn't start overnight, and I don't expect it to end overnight. Okay, I don't. Okay, but the bottom line is it's getting hot for all of them. Let's go ahead and let's finish with the diatribe. Let's learn some more.
And last year, I flew to Amsterdam with my child and 3 suitcases to experience what life would be like in Europe. We lived there for a month. This was my experience. The biggest question for me was, could I pull it off without a partner and also while working full time? And the answer is, hell yes, I could. But not without help, of course. I found an incredible nanny who taught Mark Spanish while I worked in the evenings to catch the New York Times.
You got a nanny? Hold on a minute. That's not real single motherhood. You got a nanny. Okay, you must have ran off with your husband's alimony money. You just went to Europe and got away from Tom, didn't you? You got away from Tom and went to Europe on him. Let's keep listening.
We explored, met local friends, watched sunsets, walked 15,000 steps a day. It was literally the adventure of a lifetime. But most importantly, and this is for all the parents out there, it was a very healing experience for me. People often ask me, how do you do it as a single mom? When my marriage didn't work out, I was left with guilt and fear. Because the society tells you that you can't be successful by doing this alone. And by alone, they mean without a partner. I mean, I absolutely agree. Nobody should be doing this alone. Nobody should be raising kids alone. We all need our community, whether we're partnered or not. However, through this experience, I fully realized that your happiness is ultimately what's going to impact your child the most. And happiness doesn't come from an external relationship, but rather comes from a relationship with yourself. And this whole trip was a testament to that. I did it first and foremost for myself, while Mark's well-being, of course, being my priority. That's what they mean when they say, put yourself first, because your child will reflect.
How many of y'all want to bet she filed for divorce? I bet Tom is like this. I can't believe it's funny. How many of you all bet she filed for divorce? I think she probably did. But again, we've got another situation, another single mama, white woman. Okay, this does not look like the face of single motherhood, when I think of it, I think of a black woman, right? And not only did she exported her single motherhood to Europe. So we saw an African woman, a Filipino woman, okay, and now we got a white woman. Okay, let's keep listening.
Your energy. This experience was so incredible for the both of us that we went back in August, and to this day, Mark asks me, when are we going back to Amsterdam? I also want to recognize that, of course, I was lucky that I had this opportunity to work remotely. Not everyone can have that, but ultimately it depends on whether you will seize this opportunity or not. And the fear, the guilt, and other things often block us from living a life that's actually fulfilling. So this message is here to say that it's time to tell external and internal voices to shut the up and choose yourself to go after what you want and dream of. Your time.
Basically what this white woman says, I left my man, I left him because I wanted to choose my own dream. But I thought they said only black women were selfish. Only black women were selfish for leaving their men, perfectly good men. Isn't that what they told us? Only black women did that. Not Becky never does it. Never, ever, ever. She never does it. But here it is. Case in point, Exhibit A. White woman is saying, hey, I wanted to find myself. I chose myself. Somebody type chose myself. Chose myself. That's what she said. She chose herself. But when black women choose themselves, right, everybody comes down. I'm not judging. I'm just trying to throw some water on this fire. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to throw some water on this. We got plenty of other people we can fight. Y'all want to fight? Come on. I'm going to show you how to fight and who to fight. Okay? But we don't need to fight each other. That make the block hot. Okay? We need to not fight with each other right now. We can get back to fighting each other in about 30 years. Not right now. Okay? I know it's become the national pastime for black people to fight with each other about issues that ain't putting no money in our pocket. But if y'all table this right now, let's get 30 years apiece, y'all get right back to scrapping it out. Okay? We can have a annual fight day on Martin Luther King Boulevard in every black city in America. Okay? But right now, today, we need to chill out on the gender wars. What I'm doing is showing you all that, hey, if single motherhood is such a big issue in the black community, let me show you why single motherhood is actually more pervasive in all cultures, more so than you even think. You understand? So that's where we are. Let's keep going.
Time is now.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact of the day, 70% of babies in Puerto Rico are born to single mothers. And it's been over 50% for more than a decade. Now, let me clarify. When it comes to CDC,
70% of children born in Puerto Rico are born to single mothers. That's 70%. They got black Americans, women beat. We've 69%. Right? They got this 70%. Somebody type 70% in the chat room.
single just means unmarried. Honestly, lots of couples just cohabitate, and that's really not uncommon in Puerto Rico or Latin America.
A lot of couples cohabitate. A lot of black people cohabitate too. See that? I just want you to think about that. Just because you're not married to the dude don't mean you don't live together. He might live nearby. But we never hear that. Okay? We only hear all black women are single mothers, as if ain't no man around nowhere. Clearly the man was around, because how did the baby happen? She didn't make that baby by herself. 70%. Puerto Rico. This is Puerto Rico. Okay? So let's jot that down. In the Philippines, they have a problem with single motherhood so much that these women are looking for foreign men to take care of them because their deadbeat Filipino men aren't doing it. Puerto Rico has 70% single mother rate. Okay, let's keep listening. Worldwide, somebody type worldwide.
At large. Marriage rate in Puerto Rico, sharp drop, 30% in the last decade. See, the thing is, once you're living together and combining incomes, taxes, welfare benefits, even housing, everything can get recalculated and not for the better. It seems like the system itself is designed to disincentivize marriage, at least from a financial standpoint. So the big question is this: what problems does getting legally married solve that cohabitating or staying single doesn't resolve already?
That man would say, don't get married. Isn't that something? We hear that a lot in the black community. Don't get married, but then they get vilified for that. What do you get from getting married? No legal. I'm just saying. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just pointing out that. I'm just let y'all finish listening to the video collage. Okay, that's it.
Women are mothers. If you're a Nigerian man coming to Brazil and your plan is to avoid single mothers, I need you to hear this before you book that flight. Brazil has over 11 million single mothers. In Brazil, single motherhood is not rare, it's normal. Around 70% of women are mothers, and more than half of them are raising their kids alone. Why? Paternal abandonment is extremely common here. Wait, before you judge, would you date a single mother? Yes or no? Tell me in the comments. And before you say no, you need to understand what is happening in Brazil. Because this is not about irresponsibility. It's about something most foreigners completely ignore. Part 2 is on my page. If you're Nigerian.
So y'all out here being okay. So we went to Brazil just there. That young lady said 70% of the women in Brazil are single mothers. She said they had 11 million single mothers. 11 million single mothers in Brazil. That's a lot. That's damn near the whole country. Okay, as far as the moms, 11 million, 70% of them. I just want you to understand that is a ridiculous number, right? But we don't give Brazilian people that type of smoke for that, do that. That sounds like it's part of the culture. But it doesn't seem like that country is falling apart. It doesn't seem like we're blaming the Brazilian women for all the issues in Brazil. They blame drugs. They blame poor government. They don't put all because they got horrible crime down there. Have you ever heard of a favela? Somebody type favela in the chat. It is not a flavor that you can get at the local ice cream shop. That's not what it is. You can get shot in the favela. Okay, that's what you can get, but it is not a nice place to be. You understand what I mean? 11 million baby mamas in Brazil, and I can promise you that my former associates of the Passport Bros, they've smashed at least 10% of that over the past 30 years. Some of them might have left a few babies there, and they're not complaining. Fellas, let's keep it 100. Y'all knew them women, baby mamas down there. I knew when I was down there. I don't go no more. I'm married. I'm happily married, but I'm just pointing out something. But then you got all them baby mamas down there, but when you come up here, you complain about the baby mamas here. I'm just saying, baby, I love you. You know, if we got love for you, baby, nothing can keep us from it. I'm just saying, 11 million, y'all didn't notice? 70% of them, 70% in Puerto Rico, 70% in Brazil. I'm just pointing out some things, man. I want y'all to hear what I'm hearing. So when we start talking about how black single motherhood is just destroying America, you need to ask, I want y'all to say, well, why isn't it destroying Brazil? Why is it not destroying the Philippines? Why hasn't it destroyed Puerto Rico? Why is this tiny percentage of women? Because black American women only comprise 6% of the population. So why is it that they get all the smoke for the single motherhood when apparently single motherhoodism is something that's pervasive around the world? I'm just asking questions. Just asking questions, okay? In order to do what? Throw some water on this fire, okay? That's all I'm trying to do, baby. Just throw some water on this fire. What we fighting for? Clearly, there must be another issue. I'm not saying single mother. It's great to have two people in the house, two loving parents. It's wonderful to do that, okay? But I'm just saying, it seems like it's other places too, and they seem to be making it. Let's keep going. Let's keep listening to this, man.
Nah, but fam, so happy holidays. I want to point something out, man. Like, do you know out here, let's say a man just has kids or a woman, like you could build a family. You know that the man or the woman can just abandon the family and not reap any consequences. For example, in the West, you know, if you leave your family or if y'all break up, child support's coming. It's on the way. You still got to take care of your family. In the Asian culture, Viet culture, and the only reason
he's in Vietnam, and he's saying that the Vietnamese men could just up and leave their family. Somebody type up and leave in the chat room. Somebody type up and leave. Somebody type stepdaddy. Hell, somebody type deadbeat in the chat room. This is Vietnam. Okay, so we're learning a lot, aren't we? So you mean they got deadbeat daddies that just abandoned the family in Vietnam and nobody can even say anything about it? Let's keep listening.
You know, it's because single moms have been running up to my wife out here. Vietnamese women are just like, oh man, like how you keep the family together and whatnot. We're like, man, it's just, you know, God and whatnot. But literally like 4 testimonies, man, that we had out here since we've been in Ho Chi Minh City. These women say, oh, there's no child support system set up.
No child support.
And more than likely, because the world overall is getting expensive, all of them said that their men gave them the choice, like, hey, either you get the kids to their grandparents, I can take care of you, but the kids, I ain't taking care of them. And a lot of times, the women would choose their kids over the men, and they're.
So the man who fathered those children said, you're gonna either get them kids to your grandparents, and I'll take care of you, but I'm not taking care of you and the kids. You hear that? That's some cold pimping right there, man. Talk about daddy didn't love me. Talking about daddy issues. Did you just hear that? That's part of these people's culture. That's some cold-blooded stuff to say to a woman. You got her pregnant. You don't want the kids. Too much of a financial burden. Give them to the grandparents. I'll take care of you, but we're not taking care of these kids. Our kids. Shout out to my man, Viewpoint. I mean, I'm just saying that's part of their culture. This is how pervasive family abandonment is amongst these Vietnamese men. Look, I want y'all to think about that, man. I mean, think about that. So we got issues in the Philippines. We got issues in Brazil. We got issues in Vietnam with single motherhood. You got white women traveling from the United States to Europe. You got black women from Africa traveling to Europe with kids, relying on the welfare system, apparently. But black women in America, this tiny little percentage of people in the United States, the richest group of black women on the planet, they're the problem. I don't know. Maybe we overdoing it a little bit. Maybe we need to reevaluate some of these lies that have been foisted upon us, that have been thrown in the arena for us to use as weapons against each other. I'm just saying, we can keep this fight going if you want to. I'm all with it, okay? But to me, it seems like it's time for an armistice. Let's keep listening.
They're allowed to just abandon their families. Deadbeat on steroids. But if you look in the West, man, you know, those black and brown people, we get a bad rap for doing that. Matter of fact, we're technically demonized, but you don't even hear about these things abroad. Like, even the fact that if a family has kids, their parents will move in and help them out, or they'll move in with their parents. It's a strong cultural thing for the parents to really step in and help out while the kids are little, you know, before they start school. But out here, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, so you mean to tell me this happens more than often? They're like, yeah, like this is they're like, you're lucky if the man stays. But because they have the option to be selfish, majority of the time they take the selfish option and just be like, I'm gonna leave my kids, they ain't gotta see me again, and I ain't gotta pay nothing. So that just lets you know, man, like if you really are in the West trying to look after your kids and, you know, you're doing the best you can, but the world and the media tries to make it seem like you're not doing your job and that, you know, just the news and the media, they do a good job of demonizing black and brown people in the West. But out here in these spaces, you don't even know that that's going on until you get your feet on the ground.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So we're seeing more than often, like, it don't matter what color you are, what background you're from. And of course, this is people with a lot of self-awareness and wisdom. Dog, a piece of trash is a piece of trash. If your heart is bad, your heart is just bad. But apparently out here, because there's like no child support system, dudes will literally leave their whole family, leave their kids, make new families, or you know what I mean? And you see it like, we had a woman in Thailand in our neighborhood. She was complimenting us because me and my wife, you know, we didn't break up yet. She's like, usually couples that go abroad, they break up, the man runs off. I'm like, what? But she was married to a man from the UK, and she's like, yeah, all the husbands from over there. I'm like, fam, I ain't European. But her husband had left her with 2 boys. They were married for 4 years.
The white man left her. The white European man left her. Look at that, deadbeat dad. Listen, we don't hear any about that.
And she was like, he left, and I'm back here in Thailand with my boys taking care of them. They don't even hear from their father. Their father went off and married a different woman in Asia. I'm like, God, dog. So yeah, man, it's like really heartless out here. So when ain't no barriers in place, like laws and stuff like that, you see the reality, but it's not gonna be broadcast in the media. But in the West, it's like, man, I know some brothers and sisters who really don't feel like they're doing their job, but compared to the rest of the world, black and brown people are like super dope when it comes to taking care of their kids, man. And at least from my perspective, and it don't matter what race you are, man. Like, and literally, I feel like just let me change that. People just in the West, you know what I mean, has more legitimate, loving parents than what we see abroad. Because I did a little, Chat GPT search and kind of find out only in America and Canada are one of the few places that have like child, laws for families, child support services and things like that, and family court. Dog, here, they just get let, and these dudes do not feel bad about it, and the women don't feel bad about it. So some of the things
Another thing that I've talked about on my YouTube channel and my videos is that if you are
is so pervasive that the women don't even complain about it. Are you all learning something? Did you learn something about the realities of the world so far? Have y'all learned something about the reality of what's really going on in the world? If you learned something about single motherhood around the world, somebody type whole world in the chat room. Come on now. We need to know. I need to know, have you learned something yet? Have you learned something yet? If single motherhood is the issue that is most divisive in the Black American community right now, at this particular point, we can put it to rest, because you've heard firsthand accounts of how horrible it is in other places. And the reality is, we don't really even have a single mother issue that is abnormal. If 69% of Black women give birth outside of wedlock, and then at some point 49%, 47% of them are married, or 47% remain single, that means a large portion of Black women get married after or get a mate after they have children. So is it really single motherhood that's the issue? I mean, these other countries don't seem to be falling apart. I mean, at what point at what point does a woman having a baby destroy a country? Or is it just the fact that they're Black women and you're just trying to villainize Black women, and we as Black people have fallen along with it because it's a gender war? That's what people do. You make up stuff. You be lying. Okay, they've been lying on us and we've been believing them. Let's go ahead and let this finish. This is also something that I found interesting. Let's see if we can get it to play.
And the women don't feel bad about
it. Lost my little part right quick. Let's let it.
When ain't no barriers.
Every other girl you meet.
Sorry, guys. We'll try to find the exact spot.
Child support services and things like that, and family court. Dog, here, they just get let, and these dudes do not feel bad about it, and the women don't feel bad about it. So some of the things
Another thing that I've talked about on my YouTube channel and my videos is that if you are not the type of guy that is interested in dating women with children, Colombia may not be the country for you, because there is about 80% of the women here are single mothers.
Damn.
It sounds like an absurd statistic, but you will.
80% of the women in Colombia are single mothers. 80%. Medellin, Cartagena, 80%. Think about that. 80% of the women. The percentage of single mothers in the United States, according to this 2023 survey, okay, by the Center for American Progress, is 47%. The link is in the description 80% of the women in Colombia are single mothers. 80%. Come on now, type 80%. 80% of the women in Colombia are single mothers. I don't see Colombia falling apart. And if 80% of the women, that's all, look, that's most of the women. See, if 47% of Black women who are mothers are single mothers, and the total number of total amount of Black women in the United States only amounts to about 6%. That is really a very tiny number. But yet we make it as though, Black women, foundational Black American women, are the reason that all of America's ills exist. Okay? But the Colombians got them beat by damn near double. We don't say anything about that. And as the brother pointed out in Vietnam, you wouldn't know about it unless you actually went to Vietnam. And the same thing going on in Colombia. They don't talk about all their issues. But we make a big deal out of ours. Maybe, I don't know. You all tell me. I mean, it seemed to me like we've been fighting a lot for the wrong reasons. I mean, we can pick other stuff to fight about, okay? Like we can fight about whether you can put sugar in your grits or you should limit it to salt and pepper like a decent, normal human being would, okay? We can fight about stuff that's actually more tangible like that. But let's keep listening.
See it once you get here, almost every other girl you meet has kids. And a big part of that is abortion wasn't legal until about a couple years ago here. Also, you could just say poor sex education. On top of that, it's the religious factor as well. A lot of women just don't believe in it, having abortions. And then on top of it, you add in the freaky factor. When I first started dating here, I noticed that not hardly any women, when I would go to Smash, they were not asking, hey, you got a condom? You tienes condones? Like nothing. Like it was just
a boy down there hitting it wrong. You down there sir, what are you doing? What are you doing down there in Colombia? You ask, sir, you don't ask, you put that on. You put that thing on, it's gonna explode. It's gonna explode, young man. You're gonna get the hantavirus down there. You're gonna be down there with that hantavirus down there out there. You ain't the only one she's servicing. You're not the only one she services. She got a whole team. They flying in from Germany, Australia, Austria. They coming from everywhere. Atlanta. Okay, you don't want nothing that's been in Atlanta either. I'm trying to tell you, young man. You better watch. You better think about what you're trying to do to you. You better think. You better think, young man. I'm telling you, that hantavirus. You see, they made them park that boat with that you're gonna get that hantavirus messing around down there without a prophylactic. Now I'm not gonna talk more. I'm gonna let him finish. But you heard what he said. I didn't say it. That's what he said.
If you want to hit raw, go ahead.
Man.
So you add all these factors up and you can see, okay, this is why so many women here are single mothers.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's Colombia, 80%.
Don't forget they giving them single mothers a pass over you brothers.
Andre, Love Crosby, shout out to Intricately Saying perfect time to build a family. We need each other. Look, this is Andre. He listens to what his brother
coming with it tonight. That's another one that I'm tired of. I am tired of hearing y'all on social media and in real life cuss and fuss about single mothers in the States, in Canada, in UK.
Why, brother?
And you will be the same Negroes booed up in Brazil with the baby mama and her 2 kids.
Ooh, tell it.
We see you dudes walking through the mall in Brazil. She got a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Damn.
And here you go. She holding your arm, and don't get me wrong, I got it.
She fine.
Hey, hey, don't get me wrong. She is fine.
Okay.
She, bruh, that Brazilian you got is fine. You gonna keep messing around with that Brazilian baby mama? By Christmas, y'all gonna have Christmas pajamas, matching Christmas pajamas, and sending out Christmas cards to all the passport bros. All the guys that's the passport bros, black passport gentlemen, passport kings, passport cartel, expats, black expats, all of us gonna get Christmas cards, and we're gonna look at that Christmas postcard, and it's gonna be you, your Brazilian chick, and y'all gonna have matching pajamas, and her 10-year-old, 13-year-old son, and her 9-year-old daughter. Y'all gonna be booed up like a family. You was the same one that ran off at the mouth. I don't mess with no baby mamas in the States.
Well, brother, I mean,
y'all hypocrites. I swear, man, we as men, we talk a good game, but as soon as it's time the rubber to hit the road, bruh. And here's the other part.
Well, you hear what the brother said? He said he down in Brazil, and he said the brothers are going down there, and they booed up with some baby mamas down there right now. He said they walking through the mall in Brazil with her and the teenage and the child. He playing stepdaddy down there. Okay, I'm just saying. So it appears to me, if it's going on in the Philippines, okay, see my knife hand, if it's going on in the Philippines, and it's going on in Brazil, it's going on in Colombia, and Vietnam, seemed to me, and Japan, it seemed to me like you brothers are not vilifying those women who are single mothers. So you just up in here vilifying single mothers that are black women in the United States because you're trying to win an argument. Look, I love you. I love you, brothers. But it's time to put some water on this fire. They got black fatigue. They trying to get rid of us with black fatigue. It sounds like some kind of bug spray. Go give me some of that black fatigue and raise the refrigerator up and then turn the light on. Okay, that's what they trying to do to us. And we got to stop this fight because we're giving them more ammunition to use against us. All right, it's a little army of little short ass Mexicans named Nick Fuentes out there who want to pew us like they playing a video game called Call of Duty. And we need to stop fighting each other. We need to stop giving these people ammunition to dehumanize us and claim that we're irresponsible. That's all I'm saying. We can get back to fighting another time. Okay? Ladies, gentlemen, foundational Black American family, we can get back to fighting another time, especially now that we know the truth. Okay? So take this truth that I'm giving you and they'll go throw some water on people. All right? And these arguments that they have. Let's keep listening. Let's keep listening to the brother. Shout out to Andre Lovey, 3000.
Yes, not only do these dudes mess with stepmamas, they ain't gonna tell you that these dudes be getting Brazilian chicks pregnant. That's baby mamas. Ooh. So they mess with baby mamas, and then they go to Thailand and get a Thai chick pregnant.
Damn.
That's a baby mama.
They international.
They go to Japan or China and get a Chinese chick pregnant.
Damn.
That's already a baby mama.
Damn.
They'll sit back and they'll get a chick pregnant from Italy. That's already a baby mama. They ain't telling us that story. I see it all the time. I be like, what are you dudes doing? They're not only messing with women that have multiple kids already, and then you know how they do the stupid laugh with me. Hey, Dre. Hey, dog.
Spreading it far and wide. Spreading it far and wide. Praise God. Hallelujah. Johnny Appleseed. Somebody type Johnny Appleseed in the chat room.
Hey, she pregnant, dog.
You can't make this shit up, people.
I ain't no hater. I'm thinking about the kid that's about to be born. All right, congratulations, bro. Happy for you. I got partners that done got baby mamas pregnant. Partners here. My dogs, who I love like my brothers.
Knocking them up.
So let's say something I don't know. Don't think I'm saying something that's just out there in outer space. Tell y'all to get a baby mama pregnant in the States. Some of y'all won't even glance at a baby mama in the United States or Canada. That's the hypocrisy. In the States, y'all talk all that good game. I don't touch no baby mamas. I don't mess with no baby mamas. I ain't getting nobody pregnant. I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no kids. I'm 41. I ain't got no kids. I'm 37. I ain't got no kids. Y'all do all that bragging. Get your ass over to Kenya, and the first piece of coochie you get is a baby mama. And you get her pregnant. And I see it all the time.
Purpose. On purpose. We got her pregnant on purpose. Damn. Damn. You hear that? So this is the truth. So why brothers? Just saying, this is the brother. This is Andre Love Crossing. He's a very popular YouTuber, one of my friends. Okay, he's clearly speaking on behalf of the past. He's telling the truth. Okay, so why do we have all the smoke for foundational Black American women who are baby mamas when we making baby mamas around the world? Why we doing that? I'm just asking. Is this maybe a talking point that we can kind of let go now, right? Because we kind of look hypocritical. They know now, because I said it, and I'm the mean one. And see, the thing about being the mean one, the thing about being the bad guy on YouTube, the thing about being me, if I said it, it must be true, because Uncle D don't give no ground. Shout out to Fake One. You understand what I'm saying? I'm the mean one. I don't give any ground. And if I'm telling you, the one who fights, the one who's been an advocate for Black men for past 15 years, if I'm saying it's time to put your sword down because these white supremacists and these racists are trying to take us all out, it's a different season. Somebody type different season. If I'm saying it, then pretty much the fight is over. Because ain't really nobody on these internet streets that can fight as well as me. I done fought YouTube. Y'all remember when I sued YouTube like 4 times? 4 different lawsuits, 2 different court cases. You remember how vehemently I defended Kevin Samuels when everybody was saying he was with some chubby prostitute type chick, and I said, no, that wasn't it. And I went on the internet with probably 35,000 subscribers and changed that whole narrative. Remember that? Remember that memorial service I had? YouTubers that didn't even get along. I had them come on to my broadcast and speak good things about him. Remember that? You all remember that? I had fake relatives coming out to woodwork, and I had to make some phone calls and get Kevin's mama to shut them down. That's what happened to the cousin. What happened to the cousin? I called grandma. I called his mama, and she called. I called Kevin's mama, and Kevin's mama called that young man's mama, and she told him to shut that shit up. That's what happened to Kevin Samuels' cousin. Remember that? Okay? So if I'm saying the fight is over, if me, Uncle D, the Blizzard King, is saying we are looking at diminishing return, we have to put our people before this internal beef. We can get back to fighting in about 30 years. Okay, let's get back to fighting in about 30 years. Fight's over now. Okay, y'all like 2 cats fighting in the alley. I'm gonna throw some cold water on both of y'all and watch it scatter. It's over because they're trying to destroy all of us, and that's not what our ancestors want. We're not gonna let them do it with propaganda and false facts. Let's go ahead and let Brother Andre Love Crossing continue speaking.
All the time, man, we so hypocritical.
He spoke the truth. Harsh. Truth should set you free. Let's see what else we got. This is gibberish. Let's see what else we got.
No Brasil, tem mais de 20 milhões de
There's another Brazilian baby mama saying, you know, all these women here in Brazil with kids, I'm one of them. That's what she
solteiras.
said. Taking care of them by
Sem
myself.
ajuda, que tem que lutar cada dia para sustentar sua família. Eu sou uma delas.
Back in the 1800s, having a baby with a white man could get you kicked out of your parents' home. That's what happened to my cousin. This is Matilda. She was born to William and Mary Hodge in Pennsylvania. At the age of 17, Matilda was pregnant by James Henry Morgan, who was a professor and later president of Dickinson College. James was married to Mary, and his oldest daughter was born in 1891. By the 1900 census, he had 3 children with Mary. But in 1897, at the age of 18, Matilda gave birth to Ethel May Hodge. So Ethel was James's only biracial daughter that his wife probably didn't know about. So you're looking at 2 half-sisters that never got to know each other. One black, Ethel, and one white, Julia. Even though Matilda was kicked out of her father's home at the age of 18 for having this baby out of wedlock and also probably having a baby with a white man, Ethel went on to marry my cousin Chester Roebuck, so she went on to live a pretty good life. Here's an older picture of Ethel, and here are 2 of Ethel and Chester's kids. This story is proof that the black community, our black culture, the black American culture, did not promote having babies out of wedlock, and that was not a commonplace and was frowned upon, and we promoted nuclear families and having 2-parent households. I don't know where this new narrative came from, that we celebrate that and that's something that we strive towards, but it needs to stop.
I'm a single mom living in Greece, and we moved here a month ago. I moved here with my son, and on the track, well, I was on the track to apply for a program called the Digital Nomad Residence Permit, only to find out after a month of being here that the program has been canceled and we have to go back to the US.
She then went over there to try to get some welfare, and then they canceled the program. Or really, she had a job. Okay, that's what she was trying to get a job situation together, and they canceled the program. So, you know, again, single mother issues is not something that's just germane to the United States, and it's definitely not something that's only in the Black American community. Okay.
When I tell you, I invested like my whole life. I moved my whole life here.
Whole life.
And I'm spiraling.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah, for you, baby.
So follow along, because I'm gonna make this work, and we're gonna find another route.
Okay. All right.
Hey there, I'm Nicole, 53-year-old single mom moving to Spain. And I want to do some FAQs because people have asked a lot of questions about our journey. First one is, are you afraid of moving to Spain? No, I'm not afraid to move to Spain. I look at it as an adventure. Am I going in naive and think it's going to be perfect? No, but I'm not afraid. Next question. But the crime is so bad. I hate to tell you, crime in Spain is not bad. Most people feel very safe in Spain. And then there's the question of, well, you don't speak Spanish.
No,
yeah, you're right. I don't speak Spanish. And my kids don't speak Spanish. But we're taking lessons and we're working on it. But we're going to survive. Another question. What are you going to do for work? Do you have a job? Well, guess what? I don't have a job. And I don't know.
You got that alimony check and that divorce settlement, baby. You don't need a job. You just wait until your husband got enough money. You know what you did. You know what you did. But anyway, I'm going to let you finish going. Go ahead.
The world is open. For the first time in my life, I'm not moving somewhere because of a job, because of a significant other, because
my legs are open. Is that what she said? My legs are open. Is that what she? I thought it was Spanish. I don't know. Maybe I didn't hear right. Go ahead.
Of family, I'm moving for us. Next question is, so do you know anybody over there?
Nope.
No, I don't.
There's a guy.
Next question that I get. Well, the healthcare system, it's horrible there in Spain. And what are you going to do for healthcare? Guess what? Shh, don't let anybody know. But the healthcare system outside of the US is actually really good. Next question. So what are you taking to Spain? Well,
so divorce laws aren't as friendly in Spain. That's what it is. You went over there and took Brad's money. You took Brad's money and went to Spain. He came see his kids no more. I know what you did. I know what you did, Susan. I know what you did. Keep going.
Guess what? We're only taking 7 suitcases, a couple carry-ons, and a couple backpacks. Yes, that's it to move to Spain.
Is that what you did? You just abandoned your husband?
Okay, you cannot be a single mom in Germany. Okay, let me explain to you why.
Tell us
Because while you decide to have a career and make money and make good money, you know what comes in? Well, Germany loves taxes. Germany loves everything you have to pay for in order to like just use things that you already bought with your own money. You already taxed it. Like, yeah. Let me explain. My car insurance, which I did not use last year, like I had 2 major things on my car I had to get fixed, but
I didn't even know they had this many white single moms like this. Did y'all know they had white single moms? Apparently they're all moving to Europe after they, take Brad's money. Okay, that seems to be what's happening. They take Brad's money and they move to Europe and they get them, and bust it open for some European man. That's what it sounds like. Let's keep
I didn't get them fixed because my insurance was like, no, we don't cover it, whatever. Anyways, so my insurance was $600 last year. This year it's $800. I'm like, excuse me, for what? I didn't even get it fixed. Next thing is my taxes for my car are getting up for whatever reason. Now I have to pay almost double, which is insane. I don't know why. Not almost double, but like it's a lot more. It's a significant amount more. And I'm like, you know what? I just have this car to drive to work because, I have to pay taxes on gas. I have to pay taxes too, or like to use my car. On my car, to use the car for getting gas. Like gas is like really highly taxed. And then to drive my daughter to school, which by the way, school here in Germany is mandatory. Like you cannot homeschool your kid. That's just not allowed. Okay, so yeah, second thing. So you make us force, or like you force us to do certain things that maybe we just don't want, but like, yeah.
You're forced to do things in the foreign country that you don't want to do. You could have just stayed in America for that, huh, babe? Go ahead. You could have stayed with Brad. Go ahead.
We have to pay for it, of course. Like literally, like modern slavery. I'm so sorry,
modern
but
slavery.
Like the whole thing.
Paying for things is modern slavery. You hear this white woman complaining about her privileged life. She done took her child and ran off to Germany with her husband's child or baby daddy's child. He probably never gonna see that child again. They only see each other via Zoom and WhatsApp. And now she's complaining the fact that she has to pay for things. Oh, poor her. Let's keep listening.
Is just Germany is insane, and like being a single mom or like being a mom in general, like that doesn't even have anything to do with like being a single mom. I feel like we're just getting kicked in our fucking asses. Like let me just explain to you, like Germans' logic, like literally, or like not Germans, but like the German like politicians and like systems logic, be like, okay, I'm willing to work and pay taxes. I'm going to work. Like literally, you're just being tortured for doing that. Because if you would be like, you know what, I cannot work, you would get everything that you had to work so hard for. You would get that paid by the government. So
over there trying to get welfare. She is in Germany trying to get welfare from these people. You hear that?
Why work? Like literally, like why work? I'm working because I do not want to live off the government, because that just, I like working and I like want to have a career, and like one day I'm gonna get away from here anyways. But like
one day,
get that in your head. Like being a single mom and then basically already struggling, not only financially, like because of the system being like so weird, and then they just force literally fucking everything on you instead of just taxing other shit. I don't know, tax alcohol. I don't know, tax buying a brand new car. I don't know, tax buying a Louis Vuitton bag. I don't freaking know. But like, are you fucking stupid? Literally, like Germany is like the worst for like people that just want to work.
They said the same thing about the United States. So here we got a baby mama complaining, and you move yourself over there, baby mama, white baby mama. You move yourself over there, and now you complain about those people's country.
Like I don't know, just be like, okay, fuck no. Like if you literally don't thrive to have a career and you be like, okay, I don't care, I would rather stay home with my kids, just be like, okay, I'm just gonna be unemployed. Literally. Like where's like literally I have no idea what I'm paying every single month. I'm like, what are you doing to me? Like I'm raising a child and my child, like she's super good in school, like she's gonna have a really good career, but like not paying taxes in this country. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna raise her like staying here. Like I'm gonna say, I already tell her like we're not gonna stay here, like for sure not. But like, get that in your head. Like as a single mom, like why don't you just be like people that have kids, okay, that are in school that are good, and like people that have careers and like people that contribute to the community or like to Germany, to the whole like economy and everything. Why don't they be like, okay, well, she's not gonna pay tax, or she's gonna pay like a smaller percentage of tax or whatever.
So I'm a baby mama. I have a baby. Let me pay smaller taxes. Let me help pay for your child. But it's a problem when black women say it. But when this white woman says it in another country that she doesn't belong to, that the baby wasn't conceived in, nobody says anything. I'm just saying the nerve of her.
Like just make it a little more,
What?
attractive. But no, you're just kicking us in our butts.
No, it was attractive enough for you to move your silly self over there to Germany, man. They're attractive enough. You don't need any more attraction. They don't want any more like you. Okay? They got to make you take your child to school. You done took Brad's money and moved to Germany. He's never gonna see his child anytime soon. Okay? I think you've done enough. Okay, Becky?
Thank God I'm literally a hardworking woman and wanting the shit. But like now we're benefiting off of my money, but not in the next 3 years. Good luck. After that, bye Felicia. Bye Felicia. Because I ain't gonna pay any of that shit anymore.
Other problem. Japan has a single mother problem no one talks about. Here's why. In Japan, when parents divorce, only one parent can have legal custody. Joint custody doesn't exist. And in about 90% of cases, that custody goes to the mother. Once the divorce is finalized, fathers often lose any guaranteed right to see their children. Visitation is
Japan, first world country, Japan. Fathers lose all rights to see their kids.
Isn't automatic, and it's rarely enforced. Child support isn't strongly enforced either, so many mothers receive little or nothing. That's why so many single mothers in Japan end up raising children completely alone, working multiple jobs just to survive. So when people ask why Japan has so many single mothers, it's not chaos or culture, it's the system itself. And that's why
All right. So you basically, family, just to summarize what we saw here, and I appreciate you guys hanging out and going over that video with me. And feel free to chop it up, cut it up, and share it with friends, share with people, and point out the fact that they have an 80% out of wedlock birth rate in Colombia. They got a 70% out of wedlock birth rate in Brazil. They have a 70% out of wedlock birth rate in Puerto Rico. They have a culture in Vietnam and several other Asian countries where men can just up and leave their children, and it's normal. And they have a single mother problem in Japan. So when we talk about the single mother problem here in the United States, it is not something that is local, it is international, and in fact, apparently it's necessary. I want to share one more video with you before I go ahead and begin to really get into the teaching. And this is one where we actually talk about the current birth rate amongst Black people. And then I'll put it in, I'll try to summarize it for you so you can understand.
Why aren't Black people having babies anymore? The total fertility rate of the United States continues to drop, but we're seeing some interesting trends among certain communities. African Americans have seen the biggest drop in fertility with -6%, and Hispanics are right behind them. And where it gets interesting is the white population in America is actually experiencing a slight uptrend in birth, enough to get the percentage change close to zero, but still not totally there. So the biggest question is, why isn't the Black population in the United States wanting to have children anymore? Why aren't Black people having babies anymore? The total fertility rate of the United States continues to drop, but we're
All right, so you heard it for yourself. Black people are not having children like they used to. Okay, and in fact, our fertility rate is way down. And if you take out the 69% of children, black children being born to single mothers, then that means only 31% of the children who are of the 100, only 31% of the children born are born to married women. So if we just left it up to married women to have children, just like many of these other countries, if they just left it up to married women to have children, the countries would be depopulated really quickly. So let me try to shed a little, what's the reality in this situation? Why are we where we are? Okay, and I want you all to just entertain me for a minute. Now, I shouldn't have to go over my resume, but briefly speaking, I'm an attorney, but the truth is I'm a scientist, specifically a biologist. I am not degreed in, other than my bachelor's degree and my JD from Southern University's Law Center and my LLM from Tulane in environmental and energy related law. I have those degrees, but I'm not degreed in any science over and above my bachelor's degree from Grambling. However, at some point between 2010 and 2014, I was working on my master's degree in environmental toxicology, a PhD in environmental molecular toxicology, and another PhD in environmental planning. I finished all the class requirements. I didn't write the thesis. I finished the vast majority of my PhD requirements for my PhD in environmental toxicology. But nevertheless, and I got, I finished some classes in my environmental plan, but I had to go back to work. I had small children to take care of. I had money to make. Okay. But my whole point is I've had enough science, advanced graduate level science course. And this, I took all these at TSU. Shout out to the Texas Southern University Tigers. I have an understanding of animal behavioral science to the point that I understand on a biological level why men and women or male and female mate or don't mate. Okay. Now, nothing that I'm going to say moving forward is absolute. Nothing that I'm going to say moving forward doesn't have exceptions. However, generally speaking, females of any species like to mate with the dominant males in that society. Females of any species of the higher order mammals would like, ideally, they mate with the dominant males in that species. And we agree with that. It's not necessarily always about physicality. It also has to do with social status. Somebody type social status, because we are a social group of higher level primates, animal. I know. God made us from earth and dirt. I get it. I love Jesus too. But I'm just saying, for the purpose of talking about animal behavioral science, in a society where you as a black man are not at the apex of manhood, where you have a lower social status, then the women in that society, when they deal with you, they see you based on your social status. Again, it's not always pervasive, but again, and I'm trying to help you all understand where this beef is coming from between black men and black women right here in America. I'm not saying that these people in these other countries with these baby mama issues and child support issues and single mother issues, I'm not saying everything is hunky-dory. I'm just focused on the FBA problem, okay? Why are we beefing with each other so much? Why does it seem like we can't get along and we seem to have everything, okay? Now, by my assessment, and I'm going to say some things, and it's not going to be you don't have to necessarily like what I say. But ladies, if you really listen to what I'm saying, and I'm talking to foundational Black American women, you're angry with Black men, generally. You're angry with Black men. You're disappointed with Black men, generally. I'm not saying you're angry with an individual Black man. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that as a woman, you look around at society and you recognize that the Black man is not at the height of the social status totem pole here in the United States of America. He does not hold on and run he doesn't hold the levers of power. He does not have the social status of white men. He does not necessarily have the social status of other men of other ethnicities and races. And so because of that, you feel tied to him and you resent him because of that. Okay? I know this is a hard pill to swallow, but the main issue between Black men and Black women is that Black women don't respect Black men. Why? Because of his social status in this society. I'm talking about foundational Black American women. I'm not talking about African women. I'm not talking about Caribbean women. Those people have their own countries. Those people, when they go to their own countries, the men in those countries run those countries. The men in those countries run those countries. You understand? They run those countries. Bottom line is, the reason we see all this disrespect coming from Black women towards Black men is because they don't respect Black men. Why is that? Well, let's go back to the animal science. Because we are lower on the totem pole. That does not mean a Black woman won't choose you. That means she won't have sex with you. That doesn't mean she won't have a child by you. That doesn't mean she won't marry you. But how she treats you is like a beta male. This is why oftentimes, and I'm just saying, I know it's hard to swallow. This is time often a Black woman that will misbehave for you in your presence when she gets in front of her white boss, right? She's a perfect cooperative angel, right? She listens to her white boss. She listens to her white employer. She heeds what he has to say. She shows him more deference and respect than you. Not necessarily just because he's her boss, but also because of his perceived status as a white male. She sees you as a lesser male. She sees you as a beta male. Ladies, please just listen to what I'm saying, because there has to be a reason for this animosity. It didn't just come from anywhere. Just because they give you a microphone and tell you to bash Black men, where's the incentive coming from you to do that? And it has to do with human nature. You blame that Black man because you don't have the status of maybe a white woman who has a higher status. The world tells her she's the most beautiful. The world tells her she has the highest status. She has the best man. Okay? And it takes a lot for a woman to see around that and say, no, I have something good too. To you, that Black man is the conciliatory prize. This may hurt to hear it, but this is where this animosity comes from. And so now let's flip the script. There was a time when Black men had to deal with that. We were cordoned off because of segregation. We couldn't date out, and we had to deal with each other. But now that Black men have options, not only are they exercising those options, not all Black men, but a lot of Black men are exercising their options, and on their way out, they talking bad about you. They got a whole white woman on their arm, and they still talking bad about Black women. Okay? They got a whole Asian woman on their arm, and they still talking bad about Black women. That's that hurt feelings and animosity that they feel. There was a bunch of white girls were college white girls had something on the internet where they said, how do you bag an NFL player? How do you bag an NFL player? And one of the rules was, if he starts cheating with a Black woman, don't say anything. Understand that he's always going, as a Black man, he's always going to be attracted to Black women. Okay? He's always going to be attracted to Black women. That's what they said. All you have to do is just tease her a little bit and make her go shenanigans. And then he'll see just how unreasonable she is, and he'll leave her alone because he doesn't want those problems. Okay? So again, it's Black men. I don't know any black men who are married to white women or non-black women who are not still attracted to black women. That's not the issue. Their feelings are hurt. Black men are feeling sensitive. Somebody type sensitive in the chat room. Somebody type sensitive in the chat room. Black men are sensitive. Our feelings are hurt. Okay? Black women are hurt. The reason they're hurt because they don't feel like they get treated like the other women get treated. Every woman wants to be a princess. Okay? And they see how this white girl gets coveted and treated like a princess. And so she's hurt. And then you got the black men who are hurt. And you got the black man trying to constantly please the black woman, and he can't please her because she can't give him what the white man is giving that white woman. So he's disappointed. Nothing more disappointing for a man than not being able to give his woman what she wants. You understand? Nothing more nothing makes you feel less than the man than not being able to satisfy your woman and give you what she wants. So what do? You try other ways, right? You try to, bang her back out, okay, to try to get some satisfaction out of it. But y'all keep messing around, and as soon as that's over, that's the only time you get along. I think that's what Scheherazade Ali said back in the 90s. I was a young boy. I ain't know nothing about that because I ain't, wasn't getting none, I was a kid. But she said the only time black men and black women get along is in the bedroom. That's why the babies keep coming, okay? But what we have to understand right now is we're dealing with a lot of hurt feelings. You see, we're dealing with a lot of hurt feelings between black men and black women. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that we are people who are surrounded by another group of people who don't like us. So we have outside forces coming in trying to destroy us. And then here we are with hurt feelings and anger. We can't give her what she wants. And that makes us upset. And she's upset. And we're upset, and now we fighting and we tearing each other down. So the minute somebody put a microphone in front of our face or a camera in front of our face or a keyboard, we start tearing each other down. And it all goes back to the fact that, hey, the black man can't give you the social status that a white woman can get from a white man. Okay? And brothers, the black woman can't give you the understanding that the white woman can give her white man. The white man can do all kind of stuff. He does all kind of crazy stuff, horrible things. And she seems to stick right there with him. But that's because he's at the top of the pile. And she's bound down to his social status and his perceived power. So the question we have to ask ourselves, and again, please tell me I'm wrong, but there has to be a reason why the single mother issue, which seems to be pervasive all around the world, when it gets to the foundation of black Americans, we just beat each other up about it. We use this as a weapon to try to tear each other down. Same thing with everything else. You don't think the rest of these people are having issues around the world? You don't think they have DV in China and DV in Russia and DV in the Caribbean and South America? You don't think they have deadbeat daddies in all these different places? Of course they do. But it's because of the animosity that we have towards each other right now. We're destroying each other. And so, again, black woman, I want you to understand something. Black men cannot give you the social status that white men give white women. It's not going to happen. Because number one, they outnumber everybody in the United States of America. If you want a black man with high social status, you want a black man who runs the country, who looks like the men that run the country, you're going to have to move to Jamaica or Haiti or Ghana or Nigeria or somewhere like that. The black men there look like the men that run that country. And so all those men have high social status. Now, you might be overseas, but you'll have a lot more peace and respect over there, if that's what you're looking for. Black man, you got to understand something. You cannot give your black woman, if she's that dissatisfied with you, you can't give her what she wants. You can't put her, you could do your best, you can be nice to her, you can be kind to her, you can make love to her like an African love God, but you can't give her that social status that she want. And again, it's not all black women, it's not all black men. This is not something but that general discontent is coming from somewhere. And it has a lot to do with the societal structure that we have and status, et cetera, et cetera. And I've thought about this, and I hate to even say it, but the truth is, let's just say it. Since we're being honest, can we be honest with each other? Can I throw something else out at you? And it's all based in science. You can be mad at me if you want to, but oftentimes when a species of animal will mimic another species of animal, which is deemed dangerous or threatening, or has a higher social status. So what do I mean by that? They will mimic it so that the other animals in the environment, whether they be predators or mates, will try to, will either be afraid and won't attack it, or will seek it out. They'll mimic something with a higher social status. Okay? So why do black women wear blonde weaves? Why do black women bleach their skin? Huh? Why? Clearly they don't do it for black men because we like black women how they are. I've yet to meet a black man who says he liked the black woman with that glue in and it. So I've yet to see that. So we have to understand that she's mimicking the white woman. People keep saying, oh, it's self-hate. No. Not self-hate. She's trying to up her social status. And how does the black woman up her social status in a white-dominated society? Again, this is not all black women, but you see it happening in Africa. You see it happening in Asia. You see it happening in Latin America. What are these people doing? They're trying to whitening themselves. They're trying to look white. You got little Asian women out there with blonde hair trying to look white and blue contacts. Where do you think that comes from? Because in a worldwide system of white supremacy racism, where the epitome of beauty is whiteness and the man who is at the top of the pile is the white man, who does she want to look? Who is she appealing to? Who is she? How does she increase her social status? By getting that white man. And if she wants that white man, then that little Asian woman wants to try to imitate that white woman. And the same goes for the Latina, and the same goes for the African women who are over there bleaching their skin, and the same goes for foundational Black American women. It is the nature of a woman. You want that top dog. You want that alpha male. You want the man with the highest social status. And so you imitate his prize, that white woman. Now look, again, it's not across the board, but it is a certain, we have to recognize something is going on, because this is not normal for people who have nothing to fight about to be fighting about. But we recognize the nature of who we are as human beings. We're social creatures. We rely on social status. And this is something that I've thought about for many years to try to understand, well, why is it that Black men and Black women seem not to be able to get along? And when you really start thinking about it, and you study some of our greats like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Dr. John Howard Clark, and you start reviewing things and understand a little bit about psychology and sociology and history, it all starts to make sense. The truth is, brothers and sisters, some women you can't just make happy. Ladies, some Black men you're not going to ever be able to make happy. And that's unfortunate. And the truth is, we are now in a situation where we don't have to be around each other. We have freedom. We have freedom to travel. We are no longer segregated. People can date whoever they want to date. They can do whatever they want to do. So we're not stuck together. We don't have to marry each other. We don't have to marry only each other. You don't even have to stay in a relationship with a person, even if you have children with them, period. But what we have to do is stop lying on us and stop letting them lie on us, because that's not good for any of us. So what I've done today is try to expose some of the Black single motherhood myths which is a big stinger because it goes to the core of who we are. If you start shaming Black women for having children, and the vast out of wedlock, and the vast majority of Black children are conceived and birthed by women who are not married, then what's that mean? They're gonna stop having children. And we're already at a 1.5 birth rate. So do you see how important this is for us to find answers? I think it's very important for us to find answers and solutions to calm down this gender war. I don't even know if it's a gender war. It's just a fight, a public fight. At a time, at a political time, at a racially hostile time, when you have political mechanisms, and it's beyond Trump. This started happening before Trump. Whether Trump was elected or not, this is going to come into place. Whoever gets elected next, whether if they put Marco Rubio in or Gavin Goodhair Newsom in, it's not going anywhere because at this point, white folk are upset. They feel like their country is being taken away from them, and they're ready to do something about it. And they're not going to go down without a fight. See, for what they deem is their country. So you need to be mindful of that, as we don't need to continue fighting with each other. And so let's try to find some solutions to find peace. There's plenty of people to fight. I'm going to be back fighting Africans tomorrow. Shout out to all the Africans. I'm very disappointed at you. I think we all are very disappointed at Africans because we said these are our brothers. We know these are our brothers and sisters. So very disappointed at you. Same thing for the Caribbeans, of any other group of people on this planet. There should be more connection and understanding between foundational Black Americans and Caribbeans than anybody else, because you all took that same boat ride. But yet and still, here you are, you come to the United States, you side with white supremacist racists, you say mean things about Black people as if we don't know what you're saying, and we haven't peeped that game out. So we're very disappointed. It's not that I would say this, I love African brothers and sisters and Caribbean Black people, but you need to be checked. And I'm just the man to do it. And that's all this is about. You will be checked. I don't come to your country disrespecting you all, and I don't want you coming to my country disrespecting me and throwing that rhetoric out there and making our lives harder. It's already hard enough and difficult enough to get what we got. We don't need you outsiders coming in here messing up stuff and giving these white folk ammunition when you get in your little political position, when you get your little job as a manager. And that's why you're being put in your place right now. This is how it's going to be. We hinted at it for years and so on and so forth, but now you have a whole slew of Black people who say, you know what? Not only are we going to put y'all in place, we're going to separate ourselves from you all so y'all can catch hands from these white supremacists. And you're going to come come back begging us to help you out. But until you get that good ass whooping by these white folk and you really see how they really are and how they really gonna treat you and your Black self, we don't have an understanding. And that's the issue that we have with Caribbeans and Africans. But other than that, I got much love for it, but I'm gonna keep roasting you. I'm gonna do the best I can to point out to you why it is, somebody type work harder, why it is you were wrong-headed in your direction when you came in. Period. That's exactly what most folks are doing. And you don't have to like it. You're not supposed to like it, but you're going to remember it. Just like any good ass whooping. You're going to remember that ass whooping that you got in the 5th grade, aren't you? You picked on the wrong person. Again, one thing Black Americans are good at is fighting. We will fight you. We're the only group of people on this planet that have put white supremacists in check in this bastion of white supremacy called the United States of America. And we did it with a smile, because we still smile. Somebody type work hard in the chat room, okay? So yeah, that's the issue we have with them. And we can deal with Africans. The Latinos, they got some hard lessons they need. I got much like, I'm so disappointed to find out that Latinos are culturally racist. That is just so disappointing. Why, of anybody? Why? Not the people who make the tacos. They're fun people. You got nice dances. If anybody should be aligned, it should be the indigenous people of South America, Central America, and Mexico, and black people? Why would you side with the people who oppressed your ancestors and unalive millions of your ancestors over us? That makes no sense. Period. You understand? So, but again, that's just another disappointment, but I mean, it is what it is. And you see, I give white folks the blues too. Everybody can get it over here. Everybody gets it. Why? Because I'm an advocate for black men. That's why. Okay? And you all target black men. And that means you make my life harder. You make my son's life harder. You mess with our reputation. You interfere, you stigmatize us. And when people see us, they see us different. So all y'all can get it. Everybody can get it. You can only push people so far before they start pushing back. Okay? But yeah, as far as my FBA brothers and sisters, we need to chill out, man. It's like, we need to chill out with this gender war. It's not helping us at all, is it? We need to get back to building our institutions. Have any of y'all went to a little black church in your community? Did you do what I asked you to do? Have y'all stopped cheating on your girlfriend? Fellas, do you see now why I say don't cheat on your wife or your girlfriend? Huh? Do you see why I said don't cheat on your wife or your girlfriend? Some of you smart ones figured it out, huh? Most of y'all have girlfriends, you have kids with them, but you're not married to them. But you can still have a stable relationship and a stable household if you control your penis. That's number one. Let's control the penises. Because the minute you start getting reckless with your penis, she's going to get reckless with her mouth. And then she's going to make you upset. You're going to get sensitive and you're going to go back to one of them women again. That's why I tell you, don't cheat on your wife or your girlfriend. Some people think, oh, well, just because we got paperwork together, that's what makes this more of a serious relationship. No. Your word is your bond. Your word is your bond. Your word should mean more than that piece of paper. The piece of paper just basically puts your word in writing. We're going to be a monogamous relationship. We're going to raise these kids. We're going to live together. Cool. Women might not like that. It brings less security, but she can respect that, especially if you're a man that controls his penis. If you don't like that woman anymore, okay, be a man and say, hey, look, I'm out. It's not going to work. I'm out of here. That's what men do. But what you don't do is go sticking your penis in dynamite, okay, and then something explode on you, end up with a baby or venereal disease and bring it back to your woman, explain it. On top of that, the infidelity creates distrust, and that's just going to have issues around the house. It's already bad enough. The stuff we have to deal with. Loyalty is the least that a woman should be able to expect from you. And I put that on men because you're the ones that we are the ones that are the progenitors of sex. We're the ones that impose sex on women. No woman can have sex with you unless you want her to, unless you one of them weirdos. But you desire her. You go after these other women, and now you destabilize your home, and it affects the children, it affects your relationship. And we got another angry black woman out there mad talking about how dirty black men are. It starts with you, fellas. Just think about that. And again, you want to be the leader, you got to be the moral leader. Everybody wants to be the head of the household until it's time to set an example of what the head of the household should be. We always talk about the leader of the pack, alpha. Somebody type alpha in the chat room. Most of y'all don't even know enough about animal behavioral science. The alpha is not the one out front. Did you know that? In the wolf pack, the alpha is not the one out front. Those are the scouts. Those are the young ones who can run fast, who are ready to fight. The alpha is typically the one in the back. The alpha is the one in the back. So when you see a line of wolves walking through the forest, the alpha is the one bringing up the rear. He's the last wolf. The women and the cubs in the middle, the fighters and the scouts are out front, the alpha is in the back, making sure everybody is good, willing to sacrifice himself in case a grizzly bear pops out the pine forest or something. But people have been throwing that terminology around, oh, alpha this, alpha that. First of all, we're not wolves. That is not who we are, okay? But if you want to use that analogy, understand that that's where it comes from. The alpha is the one in the back. The alpha is the one willing to sacrifice himself for the betterment of the group. That's what a real alpha is. That's what a real father does. Don't y'all like Jesus? Where all my Bible thumpers at? Have you ever figured out what Jesus is really about? Jesus is about sacrificing for the people that he loved, whether they loved him or not. That's what being a man is about. That's what being a husband is about. You know what husbandry is? A husbandry, another word for husbandry is farming. In other words, taking care of those things, taking care of life. Responsibility is what I'm telling you, fellas. Responsibility. And then look, man, I'm not preaching to you guys. I'm just saying there's a bigger burden on men. See, along with that authority, you want to be the head of the household, but it's and look, I don't give relationship advice, please. Okay, I'm just saying, but I'm raising sons. Okay, I'm raising sons, and this is what I expect from my sons. Now, they haven't got to that point because they're young boys, 18 and 16, but I have some expectations that I'm going to put upon them. Don't let me find out you've been cheating on that woman you with, and you're not man enough to tell her you don't want to be with her anymore. Because that's going to make you look bad, and it means I look bad as your dad. You see? That's the attitude. We ain't doing no pimping over here. We're not pimps and players and hustlers. We're real men. You see? When I say real men, I mean real men with integrity, real men who want to lead from the front, real men who want to be the moral head of the household. You see? The moral leader of the household, which means you impose limitations on yourself. You set by example. That's what I expect from my sons. And so that's the information that I'm sharing with you all, because that's my litmus test. When I give my sons this advice, don't cheat on your wife. Don't cheat on your girlfriend. As a foundational Black American man, recognize that in this particular society, we're surrounded by people who don't like us. You may not have the highest social status. You might not be the white man, but you know what? You can do great. You can be an individual and set yourself apart. You can be a great man. She can never say anything bad about you. You see, you ain't no cheater and you ain't no beater, right? That's a win. She can say whatever she wants, but she can't say you did any of those immoral things. The most she can say you did was leave. Okay, when the disrespect came, you left. You didn't stoop down to her level. You left with your integrity as a man. That's a beautiful thing. And it keeps down the BS. And ladies, not really trying to give you a bunch of advice. I'm not a woman. I can tell you what I like as a man. I can do that. I can tell you that your integrity is important. I can tell you that your honesty is important. When I say honesty, I mean, hey, if you don't like them, let them know. The old people in my family, my grandmother used to tell my cousins, don't take gifts from men you don't like. Don't take gifts from men you don't like. Because when a man starts giving you things, he starts thinking, hey, I'm investing in her. Don't go on dates with men you don't like. Don't eat their food. Don't waste their time. Be honest. That's the first thing I would tell you, because that lets him know where he stands. And that way we miss out on any misunderstandings. You miss a lot of trouble. And people don't get their feelings hurt. Because a lot of these young men that you're dealing with, they grew up, they got their feelings hurt by some woman. And now they're scorned and they're on the internet talking reckless about you. It would have been best just leave them alone. That's integrity. Some of you ladies, you got children by men you don't necessarily like. Maybe you take out on that child. Maybe that child, you can keep him in line for a certain amount of time, but at some point that child is going to grow up and he's going to put your report card as a parent on the table, and you might not like it. So you're in the situation you're in for a reason. Be the best you can be. Invest in your children. Your child is not going to raise himself. If you're going to have a child, make sure you spend the time you need to spend. Nothing is more important, because between that age of about 4 and 14, that's when they're going to turn out who they're going to be. And either you're going to be going to a graduation or a jail cell or a funeral home. So you need to make a decision. But the main thing is, if you have a situation with some particular man, don't impute that on all black men. All black men didn't get you pregnant. All black men didn't abuse you. All black men didn't cut you out. All black men didn't do this. All black men didn't do that. That's between you and the black man you chose to be around, or somebody chose to put you around, whether it's your father, brother, etc. It's not all black men. So reserve that animosity that you might have for that particular black man for him, not all of us. And above all, when you're voicing your opinion about black men, be specific. Don't just get on the internet when you get on these podcasts and say, yeah, black men do that. No, say Leon that you dated back in 1997, he did that to you, okay? It was Leon, okay? That's who did it, not all black men. Don't put that on all black men, because it makes all of us look bad. It was Leon that got you pregnant, okay? It was Jamal that played down at the community college that broke your heart, okay? Not all black men. See, it's easy for you to say all black men because you don't have to name names, because when you start naming names, you call up, somebody might call you up and say, Next thing you know, you got a screenshot of you talking to Jamal on the internet saying, see, we thought, we didn't hear the other side of the story. So you say it's all black men, so you don't have to confront them demons that you brought up by opening the door and let them in. I'm just saying, I'm speaking from experience. It's easy to, sometimes it's easy to blame everybody than somebody. Because when you blame that somebody might then turn around and blame your body. You see, you point fingers at somebody gonna point a finger back at you. But if you point your finger at everybody, people might give you understanding. So you say it's all black men. It's easy to sell that than point out, well, it's my baby daddy. Well, damn, baby, he had another woman when you was dating him, and you thought he was gonna treat you better than her. You understand where I'm going, family? Try to find a reason to kill all this beef. There's always reasons to beef. There's always reasons to fight. You can find a reason to fight with anybody in your vicinity. You can pick it any time. But it's a more mature thing to figure out where we are right now, how we got here, and try to figure a way out. And again, and I'm gonna say this conversation is for black people who actually like black people. If you don't like black people, this conversation is not for you. Ladies, if you find a man, he don't want to date black women, leave him alone. Brothers, we always give these divestors a hard time. You don't want them. I mean, I'm saying, if a black woman said, I only want to date white men, wish her well. God bless you. Let her find. Thank her for telling you, because she would have never been satisfied with you in the first place. I done already told you earlier about my particular, belief on animal behavior. She already told you she doesn't want you. She wants that white man. That's why she let him dog her out and treat her bad. And he's paying. Look at what that girl, Haley Berry, beautiful Haley Berry, Serena Williams, and her sister Venus. They married these white men that poorer than the black men they used to date. But they feel like that's a come up. They feel like that's a status symbol. Let them be. Don't be mad at them. Let them be happy. That's what they want. Whatever they want, let them be happy. You have a short time on this planet. Let them be happy with whoever the hell they want to be happy. Be thankful that they found somebody in this short time period that we have on this planet that makes them happy. Give it to them. They let them be happy. Be thankful they told you. Somebody don't want you, ladies, let them go. All these NBA players were white women. You don't want them, fine. The truth is you don't want them because you only want them because they're NBA players and they got money anyway. So you don't want them. You just want the lifestyle that they can produce with their money. Same reason a lot of these white women want. They just beat you to it because they got that good game. They plot and plan on how to get NBA players and football players. And if you're not willing to do that and deal with a man on that level and do what he has to do and take what she has to take, fine. Because you know them dudes are cheating. I know plenty of NFL players. And I know a lot of their ladies. And what those ladies will tell you is that these dudes come home after a game, they're depressed, their body's always hurting, they sulking around. The conversation is not always that, yeah, you have the money sometimes, but you're dealing with a broken, depressed man oftentimes. And all he's ever been courting off playing football. So is that really something you want? He ain't going cha-cha dancing with you on cha-cha night at the local taqueria. You might have money, but it's not your money. All the glitter is not gold. I'm just saying. Let them have that. You find your peace of mind and happiness. And if you can't find it in a black man in America, that's fine. I wish you well. I'm not Umar Johnson. I don't tell grown people what to do. You're a freak. I'm not here to do that. All I'm trying to do at this point is help us find peace before we tear each other down, because there's enough people trying to tear us up. There's enough people trying to destroy us. It ain't enough of us around here. I just want y'all to listen to what I'm saying. Okay? I'm just saying. Not enough of us for us to keep tearing each other up for the next 20 years. If we keep going where we are by 2043, we ain't going to be here. The black colleges are going to be empty. No more black entertainment. All the black movies are going to be by foreigners from Africa and the UK. You think Essence Festivals now, they're going to have jollof rice and dashikis all throughout Essence Festival if it's still around, because there won't be any foundational black American people. The culture is going to die. And who killed it? We did. We did what the white man never could. We killed it ourselves because we didn't get along. Because black women don't respect black women don't respect black men, and black men are resentful towards black women because they don't treat them like they feel they should be treated. This is where we are. And we need to work on that. But anyway, let me go ahead and read these super chats and cash apps and PayPal. Let's see, we got 5 super chats. Thank you so much, Miss T. If you learn something, I should earn something. But the most important thing is, family, I want you to make sure you all can subscribe to the channel. We also got a cash app. We got a $5 cash app. Thank you so much. I want to let's see who we got here. Gosh, let me see. I think we got a $5 cash app here. I have to double check. MD Johnson, thank you so much. And also, Fiquan, thank you for the super sticker, $5 super sticker. And intricately, Tango, perfect time to build family. We need each other. Yes, we do. Thank you so much again, Fiquan, man. Hope you enjoy that wrench. Thanks for the super sticker. Also, another one. Yeah, so we got 5 super stickers, 5 super chats. I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much. But have you subscribed to the channel? That's what I need to know. Have you taken the time to subscribe to the channel? That's what I need to happen. I need some subscribers to get on in here and subscribe. I need y'all to make that happen. Let's see what the subscribers are, because we got enough people in here. I've looked at the numbers, and it appears to me that about 1/3 of you all are just watching and not subscribing. That's what it seems like to me. Now, don't make me jump through this YouTube screen. okay, and come sit in your face. Okay. All right. We need about another 700. I need that hot 700 to get me where I'm trying to get. Somebody type 700 in the chat. Okay, let's not play this game with me. Subscribe, resubscribe, make sure you do that. But either way, I appreciate you guys. Thank you all so much. I hope you appreciate this. I hope, this has kind of been like a freestyle type thing. I like being out here. Y'all want to see something? Somebody type see something in the chat room. Y'all want to see something? Huh? Y'all want to see something? Let y'all see something. Look at this. Beautiful day. Shout out to what? See that? I could be over there. See that? I could be over there chilling. See how beautiful I could be chilling out over there, relaxing, and enjoying my beautiful, hard-earned life. But I'm talking to y'all. I could be right over there, chilling. But I'm talking to you all. You know what I'm saying? Could be. But I spend my time, instead of doing all this stuff, I'm trying to make peace. Somebody type make peace in the chat room. Somebody type man of peace. Man of peace. I'm saying. I could be sitting on that couch right there with my feet up. Okay? Feet up. I just got a pedicure too. And it was painful. After a year of jiu-jitsu, I got a pedicure. It was painful. I could put my feet up and not be ashamed of myself. Okay? But I talk to you all. Everybody in here. Okay? Because I want you all to hopefully, hopefully I can do some good work here. Yeah, man of peace. That's me, man of peace. Okay? Look at that. I could be over there, but I'm talking to y'all because I think it's important. We need to stop. They've been lying on us, and we need to stop letting them lie on us. And we need to stop using those lies and pushing that forward. Now, that's enough of that for y'all. Move this back over here. Okay? That's enough of that. Y'all don't need to see no more of that. That's for me. Somebody type for me in the chat room. That's for me. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to Corey Peterkin. That's for me. Okay? But somebody's well, y'all are funny, boy. I hate some of y'all. I hate you. I hate all of y'all. Talk about mosquitoes. You ain't tell us about the mosquitoes next to the pool. Forget you. Okay, forget you. My pool is fluorinated. Okay, and I got one of the little buzzy things. Roman got me a little. That's what it does. Just killing. It glows blue in the night. Yeah. But anyway, man, God bless you all. I love you. Thank you all so much for your time and energy. You're beautiful people. Let's keep being beautiful people, man. Okay? Again, I don't give relationship advice. I give fighting advice. If you want to know how to fight, let me know. I'll tell you how to fight. But we need to stop fighting each other. That's all I'm saying. Foundation of my FBA brothers and sisters, we need to stop fighting each other. Don't put it on the internet. Put it on the internet. Tell them my Uncle D said this. We need to stop. Yeah, stop fighting each other, man. Not a good look. It's not serving any purpose. We're getting diminishing returns. The white folk, well, not all white, but everybody. Okay, the white folks, the white lights, the Asians, everybody's using these talking points against us that we've thrown out there. Let's just be quiet. Let's start giving them ammunition to use against us. That's all I'm saying. Doesn't that make sense? When everybody's talking about we have black fatigue, why does it make sense for us to keep fighting each other? It doesn't make sense. That's stupid. Okay? That's stupid. Speaking, somebody asked how they can reach me. You can reach me at 713-229-0770. But here's the caveat. Only reach out to me if you've been involved in a car accident. Don't call me. Okay? Don't call my office for anything else other than I was involved in a car accident and here's my information. Okay? That's it. Okay? That's all I want you all to do. All right? But anyway, man, thank you so much, everybody. Shout out to all the Wrench Mob. Shout out to all my FBA brothers and sisters. Shout out to everybody who watches the broadcast. I hope you all learned something. I look forward to reading the comments. I love the comments. The comments help me understand where we come from. But before I leave, what did you all learn today? What was the most interesting thing that you learned today that we talked about Black single mothers myths exposed? What myth did I expose about today that you learned? I'm gonna sit here for a minute and let you all quickly tell me what you learned, or what was the most shocking, what was the most eye-opening that you learned today, okay, concerning this subject. Let me know. I want to see what you learned today. Let me know what you saw today. It was shocking. Was it the fact that 80% of women in Colombia are single mothers? Was it the fact that there's 11 million single mothers in Brazil? Was it the fact that Asians culture, they just walk away from their kids, men, and it's like acceptable? Somebody said it's not only FBA women. It's certainly not, and never has been, never will be. Okay. But anyway, you all can let me know in the comments section. Thank you all so much. As always said this time, this is Uncle D, and I am out.
Dennis Berlin Podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe.